Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. I'm Matthew Cartier, joined in the booth by Dan Dwan for what will be hopefully some good Modern tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is also a bit of a send-off here for Matt. This will be the last stream we're doing together as a duo for quite some time here.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future, I'll be moving to Michigan, so I will not be around. Dan will probably still be around, but I will not be. So that being said, let's get it down to the play overlay. We should have some Magic starting up, and we do. So on the left here, we're going to have Jake Koenig.
And he's going to be playing against Rick Courtney on the right.
Yes, and so Jake is an affinity player. We saw that. Saw him testing it out earlier. I believe he has main board Gear or Aether Grid, which is sort of disgusting.
Oh, not just main board. Double main board.
Double main board. And
Yeah.
Rick here is on Grixis Death Shadow, if I'm not mistaken.
Looks like it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that could be, blue-white control opening as well, but I believe Rick is a Grixis Death Shadow player. So
Yeah, the island kind of suggests that it's not Death Shadow, but, you do run like a basic or two. So
you have a single basic island, yeah.
maybe you just ended up with that in your hand. Alright, but Rick's going to double bottom here.
Yeah, he's got Thoughtseize, IOK, all this stuff, so looks like Rick has, like, other...
Almost a mono black hand.
Well, no, so he's got Inquisition, Thoughtseize, and then 2 more Serum Visions.
Okay.
So, like, he can find, he can dig really deep. What I worry about is against a deck like Affinity, if Jake's not just going to, like, end him before that can...
Alright,
that is 2 mana. Let's see if Jake decides to put this plate... I think you have to put the plating down here, right? Maybe not. See, this is... I don't know if I...
the thing is, Jake might not know Rick is on Death Shadow, right?
That's
if
fair.
you lead off an island, that doesn't suggest,
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
Thoughtseize.
And surely Rick is going to Thoughtseize here.
Right. He can't... with the context of his hand, he can't try to snipe... like, he doesn't have any removal. Also, there's the very real possibility that, like, Jake would be Hellbent next turn.
Right.
And then your Inquisition looks kind of silly.
Right, yeah. So Rick this turn will probably... So he gets a Water Grave there, he'll shock himself. This turn will probably be a Thoughtseize and...
Probably actually an Inquisition.
Probably an Inquisition, yeah, that's fair. Just so you don't, if you're gonna, against an aggressive deck like Affinity, you don't necessarily want to take that damage.
Yeah, well, there's nothing in Affinity that Inquisition doesn't hit.
Well, if you look at the last GP top 8 actually from Kobe...
Except the Collected Company, and that is indefensible.
I mean, Dan at top 8 of the GP, how can it be bad?
I mean, he must have had some savage blowouts.
Yeah.
With the court.
Okay, so Jake will show him a Galv Blast and Ink Moth
And
a cranial plating. And Jake just putting the cranial plating immediately to the graveyard because there's no way that Rick is going to take that Galv Blast.
Yeah.
Galv Blast is basically just only going to go face in this matchup. Yeah. And then Rick will Serum Visions here. One thing with the Death Shadow deck is you do start double spelling at a much earlier than most other modern decks, just because like everything costs.
Yeah,
1.
I believe Rick drew a Terminate there and ended up scrying the land to the top.
Okay, so this is an attack for 3. Rick will go to 14. Jake plays the Ink Moth.
And Jake will go up to 20 again.
Yes. Yeah, Jake back up to 20. Yeah, so 2 from the Battle Cry, 1 from base. Yeah, Cubs fan also says that Inquisition doesn't hit Thoughtcast, but I don't know if Jake is playing Thoughtcast.
Oh, that's a very fair point, Will.
Thoughtcast is...
Thoughtcast has very heavily fallen out of favor, though.
This is true. Yeah,
so people are just like, you want the Galv Blast just to be a little more aggressive. Also gives you a little bit of interaction in case there's something that your opponent is really doing that you need to answer. Yeah.
Rick is going to Serum Visions here. He does have a Terminate in hand, though, so I'm wondering if he decides to keep these Scries, if he wants to keep them and also cast the Terminate, if he shouldn't have fetched first, but maybe he just doesn't want to take the damage from, like, fetch shocking right away to hold up red mana.
The thing is, like, Jake didn't do anything here, right? And you can't Thoughtseize or he's just going to Galv Blast you.
Right. You absolutely can't Thoughtseize, which is why I think, your best option this turn is to play the Terminate, kill probably the Signal Pest, make the Ornithopter useless, and then Serum Visions.
Right, you're going to have to shock to play the Terminate, but I mean, you offset that damage by life you gain.
Right, yeah,
Life
by the 2 damage you save from ending this annoying little pest's
Yeah.
life. But yeah, so I think I think did Rick? I didn't see where he put the scries.
He bottomed it, but
okay.
I
But
think
like I think if you realize that you have to bottom, then like.
Yeah.
So Jake will animate Inkmoth Nexus here. Start getting in for poison as well.
Yeah. So again, attack for 3. This time with 2 poison included.
Yeah, and I think Rick might have made a mistake by letting Jake go to attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in this situation, the Signal Pest is by far the most valuable card on the board, and Rick letting the Battle Cry trigger resolve means that he's going to take unnecessary damage that could end up costing him.
He took another extra 2 and a poison for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
So he'll go to 11 to get this Blood Crypt here. The Terminate will find something, and then we'll see what happens.
Almost certainly the Signal Pest. And now Rick's in a position where there's a lot of draws. You know, like this is a deck that plays multiple Culligan's commands.
Right.
Which is, I mean, on this board would just be kind of lights out.
Colligan's command would obviously be insane here. This is just going to be a Terminate. Kills the Vault Scourge. Is going to take 1 from the Ornithopter. He'll go to 10, and he'll also go up to 2 poison. Jake will play a Spires of Industry, new card from Aether Revolt, and pass the turn.
Yeah, so terminating the Vault Scourge is kind of an interesting line. It does mean that
The clock is much slower.
the clock is much slower. Either way, if Rick hit the Signal Pest, he'd be taking 2 damage off the board effectively as well.
Right.
But this just means that future draws that Jake has are much better.
Right. And now the problem that we see here for Rick is he knows about this Galv Blast. Jake wisely leaving up mana to Galv Blast if necessary. Rick's hand is a Street Wraith and a Thoughtseize and another land, and you can't really cycle the Street Wraith here because that just makes the clock faster against you.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands, Rick is still kind of...
Oh, he's going to cycle it anyways.
Well, if you don't, like...
Yeah. I mean, you're drawing a Colligan's command, so it's fine.
You have a lot of really good draws, and yeah, Rick can't really do anything here.
Draw step from Jake. Ooh, Arcbound Ravager. That's a pretty good one.
Ravager's pretty good, especially with the additional Mox Opal in hand.
Right, yeah, you can just sack it. Yeah, and we'll see Jake do that. Jake, very good at Affinity. Very experienced pilot.
And now this is going to be interesting because you're starting to set up like all sorts of interesting lethal scenarios.
Rick will Thought Scour himself as these attacks come in. Just cycling the card, trying to find something better. He finds another Thought Scour. I have to imagine that also is going to get fired off here.
Yeah, with a deck with Fatal Pushes and maybe Lightning Bolts.
Yeah, it should be 2 Lightning Bolts. Rick, unfortunately, just like flipping creatures and drawing non-creatures. This damage will come across. Rick will fall to 7 life and will also go up to 4 poison. Mm-hmm. And the thing is Rick's life is low enough. Sometimes you get in a situation with Infect, you're like, oh, I'll kill him with poison, and it just doesn't end up like working out because they kill your only Inkmoth. But in this situation, Rick is sort of pressured to control everything else on the board first.
Right. The Ravager is going to be particularly important because it makes all his creatures removal proof now. Yeah.
And Jake, again, leaving up this Mox Opal. Rick is dead next turn because Jake has this Galv Blast.
Right.
As well as just, YOLO everything on a Ravager. Mm-hmm. Or YOLO everything on an Inkmoth. There are a lot of ways that Affinity wins from here.
Yeah, I don't actually think Rick has any draws that keeps him alive.
And we'll see he'll play a land and pass back here.
There's nothing here that would keep him alive. Right.
Jake has a second Inkmoth. He'll animate the first one, and it looks like it's time to attack. Yep, Ravager will come across for 3, Ornithopter for 1, and Inkmoth for 2. And unless Rick has, Colligan's Command into Snap Colligan's Command on the untap, it's looking pretty grim.
Rick's not going to have another turn. Jake's
going to... blast, yeah.
Yeah, Jake's probably going to try to go for lethal here.
Yeah, so, you're out if you're Rick is you have Colligan's Command, shatter the Ravager. Oh no, even if you shock the Ornithopter, you have to have Colligan's Command plus push or something. Right.
Actually, there's no reason for Jake to go for lethal.
Yeah,
he'd have to commit a little bit too much. I thought Rick would be falling very low. But yeah, Jake would have to sack like the Dark Steel and both Inkmots.
He also had a Gallop Blast though, right?
Right.
So like he could have just like done nothing with his Ravager and just like blast you.
Right.
Gallop Blast with providing a ton of reach. Pretty nasty card, especially once you draw the second one. You really start to get to the point where you just end your opponent from like you swing them down to like what they think is safe at 8. And this spell is so hard to counter because it's so cheap, and you probably have 2 or 3.
Yeah. So I mean, this was Rick's draw really just didn't come together. I think he kept the 2-lander, ended up with 5 on field with another 2 in hand.
Yeah, I mean he drew a lot of lands. He had 3 Serum Visions to try to set it up, and that's just like that's not the hand you want. He managed to take the plating. Imagine if Jake had resolved the plating this game.
Well, yeah, like this game would have been over much sooner. The fact that Jake was hitting for like 1 and 2 for most of that game, and it was just enough because Rick couldn't draw into anything meaningful.
Yeah. Looking at Jake's board here, got some interesting stuff. I see 2 Stubborn Denials in there. Stubborn Denial being a card that is really sort of what Rick's deck is known for playing, right? Like yes, Affinity can play it. You make random stuff into creatures power 4 or greater, but like the reason that Rick's deck exists basically versus the Jund version is because you play.
It's the combination of Snapcaster and Stubborn now.
Right. So
1 mana negate. It's just absurd.
Yeah, 1 mana negate is definitely like more than twice as good as 2 mana negate.
I would say more than twice, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, take a look at how this game looks like post sideboard. Rick doesn't actually have all that much to bring in, right? Because his deck is pretty well suited in a main deck, right?
The fact that you have Kolaghan's Command main decks automatically makes you just like that 1 card increases your percentage so much.
Right. The Kolaghan's Command means you have a main deck way of dealing with cranial platings, which a lot of fair creature decks just like
don't.
You just have no way to answer that. Also, Rick has at least 4 pushes. Or probably has 4 pushes in the main, and then
it's
some number of bolts.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 pushes and usually 2 bolts.
Right.
The list I've seen lately, like the one that Brad Nelson won the GP with and stuff, or he won an open with Grixis Shadow or whatever.
Yeah.
He was playing 4 Serum Visions, 3 push, 2 bolt, something like that. So the numbers tweak around a little bit, but basically, and also some number of terminates actually. You do need a way to kill like Reality Smasher,
right,
or like Primeval Titans. So.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean Rick has just a wealth of removal.
Right, and we just didn't really see it that time. The other thing that Rick sort of was lacking in that opener was, a threat of any sort. Like a Tassiger can provide pressure. A Death Shadow would have, provided some pressure.
And Rick did get to see a lot of cards. There was the one.
There was a Thought Scour where he flipped Tassiger's Shadow and drew a land.
Right.
Which is just like the worst possible thing.
Well, let's not forget. Also, scrying and then fetching afterwards. A minor misstep there.
Yeah, I mean, he did end up he scryed bottom, but and I don't know if the cards were relevant or not, but like in that situation where you're like, I'm casting this Terminate guaranteed coming up, like, and I also I think that targeting the Vault Scourge, like, yeah, it reduced the clock, but like. I think that you have to say before you go to attacks, I'm killing your Signal Pest, right? Like that's just I think like because sure you're only getting hit for 1, but like you said, it makes everything else that Jake draws much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Rick probably realized that while mid combat, and that's why he went after the Vault Scourge instead of the Signal Pest. But like in a vacuum, going after the Signal Pest was clearly the choice there.
Yeah,
but Rick's gonna have the advantage of being on the
play this time.
The play here, which if you're running Inquisitions or whatnot, certainly much better.
Certainly much better. Also, like you, even if you have like a push or something, you're not like you get to push their thing, and then untap and play another land and maybe have like more removal. You know what I'm saying? Right, you just like the affinity versus affinity player draw is just so incredibly relevant.
Well, I mean, it's important to remember that when you play affinity. the vast majority of your deck is nonsense, and then you have a couple of key power hitters that make ties everything together.
And key power hitters being Edge Champions, Master of Ethereums, Cranial Platings, and Arcbound Ravagers, right?
Yeah, and still Overseers.
And Overseers, true. Yeah, but Overseers. Overseer, like, with, 2 creatures on board, you activate it once, it's like, this Ornithopter is now a nonsense, goes from 0-drop nonsense into 0-drop, like...
It's actually a thing.
It will win the game, yeah. Yeah, heaven help you if you get 2 of them off. If you activate Overseer twice, I actually don't think you can lose.
Yeah, it looks like Rick's got a...
couple lands, some stuff, Serum Visions.
I think, actually, that's 2 Stubborn Nows? It might be 2 Stubborn Nows.
One of them is a Stubborn Now, the other one's a Thought Scour.
Oh, okay.
All right, Rick will start off on 18, though, with the Serum Visions. Notably, I don't know how much removal Rick has, which is, like, in the world of Send Help, that's just doesn't feel great against Affinity when they can just swarm the board so effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does have a push, though. It might be a Brutality, too. I lied. His hand's great.
Yeah,
or it's a Shadow. Whatever it is, he has a Fatal Push, so...
All right, and double top.
Yeah, he also needs to have his land tapped. Yeah, there we go. Jake draws a Signal Pest for turn. Does look like he will be able to make 2 mana turn 1, though, so if he wants to, he can get this Arcbound Ravager down with an Ornithopter. Alternatively, you can just get the Signal Pest out. Oh, my God. Yep, this seems great.
Yep.
And now, these creatures, even though... So Rick draws another Fatal Push, which is good because you can kill the Ravager plus whatever the modular's targeting. The problem is that he doesn't have double black.
But this can be a piecewise thing, right?
Yeah, you kill, you shoot the first thing, then you untap and shoot the second thing the next turn. It's not ideal because Jake will probably get to crack with some number with like a buffed up Mem Knight or whatever.
Yeah.
But
well, Jake lived the dream here as well as having a turn 1 active Opal.
Right.
It's a lot harder without having Darksteel, right? Because you need 2 0-drop.
Yeah, and you just managed to
artifacts.
find them both.
But, yeah.
Draw stuff for Jake looks like a Signal Pest. Here comes a Darksteel. Mm-hmm. So his hand is like double Pest plus something that I can't tell what it is. So, just let's go wide.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unlikely Rick is playing Shatterstorm.
Rick could be playing something like Anger of the Gods or Kozilek's Return, which would be pretty bad, but, like, double Signal Pest is so good.
Is +2/+2 to your team good?
+2/+0.
Oh,
it's not a defense buff. It's
right. You're right.
So here's an attack. This is just for 2, but Jake wisely, swinging with the Ornithopter to enable Ravager stuff. But Rick says this is fine. He'll take the damage and fall to 14. Jake plays 1 Signal Pest. See if he'll run the second one out. Yeah, no fear. You kill so fast with this. Mm-hmm. And, leaving up the Opal representing the most possible things. Although the fact that he did go to tap it means that he probably isn't representing something.
Right. Jake also has the option of putting things onto the Inkmoth.
Right. Oh, good point. Yeah.
Well,
I think putting things on the Inkmoth is risky. Rick, not Fatal Pushing end of turn, chooses to untap instead. Finds a Blood Crypt, so now he can double Fatal Push. That is... He naturally... maybe he's Serum Vision the Blood Crypt to the top. That's still super risky.
I think I much would have preferred a push end of turn.
Yeah.
Because that lets you collect a Brutality and leave a push.
I don't know if it's a Brutality. I think it might be a Shadow, actually.
Oh, sure. Alright, so yeah.
Jake will play a Glimmer Void here. 1 card in hand. I don't know what it is. Because I believe he's had that Glimmer Void, so...
Yeah, so Jake here, probably interested in going to combat. And
yes.
Rick probably should kill some things before that happens.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. So Jake is going to animate the Inkmoth Nexus as well. And Rick lets him attack, though.
Oh, this is...
Team? So, 1, 2, 3...
So it's...
3 base... Plus, they all get buffed +2/+2/+0. Holy moly, this is going to be some damage.
Alright.
I think you had to kill one of these Signal Pests before they attacked.
Mm-hmm. So Jake is actually in an interesting position here.
Right.
He's pretty set up on mana right now, so I might be interested in sacking either the Darksteel or the Opal.
Which he will.
Yeah, which he will.
And he'll move the counters to the Ornithopter.
Right. It's important to move your counters onto the least important thing. So it's going to be 4 from Opal, 3 from Memnite, and 1 from Signal Pass each.
Yeah. So 4 from the Ornithopter, 3, so that's 7.
Plus 2 from... Yep,
9.
So hits for 9 plus 3 poison.
So Rick down to 3. I don't know why Rick didn't fire off that second push. He has a second push. He draws Colligan's command like a champ, though. I don't know if it's going to matter, though.
I mean, he's not going to be dead yet, right? If he shatters the Ornithopter, shocks the Signal Pest, pushes the other pest... Or
he doesn't have enough mana to do that, though.
I mean, he has to fire off the push now.
Yes, but, like, if you're going to fire it off now, why didn't you fire it off pre-combat Ravager stuff?
Right.
Okay.
I would have liked to see a push on the Ravager, and then maybe another push on a Signal Pest.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
The Signal Pest added like 4 damage each.
Yeah, and so now we go back over to Rick. This does make his Death Shadows enormous, but right now he just needs to, like, Colligan's command to live. This Colligan's command, though, getting both Signal Pests is going to be quite the blowout. The problem is, like, then he goes to 2 from this hit, and yeah, he'll have to pass.
Yeah.
Untap here.
And it's worth
And if
pointing
Jake draws Stubborn Denial, like, this game is over.
Stubborn Eye or Galv Blast, right?
Yeah. Colligan's command, Rick says. Hit both of these. Jake's like, rip. Goodbye.
Yeah. Jake looks like didn't draw the Stubborn Eye.
I mean, oh no. Rick will go to 1 life, or 2 life, sorry. Does Jake have an etched?
Yeah, I believe that last card is etched. With just enough.
Just enough for Metalcraft? Oh, wow, this Etched Champion is actually just, like, that's it, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, the Grixis Shadow does not play Cryptic Command, so...
What if...
Barring that or Shadow Storm, we are done here.
Yeah, let's, we'll see what Rick does, but, he's got a Gurmag Angler, I think he has a Death Shadow, and none of it's gonna matter. Is that double? Oh, it's double fish, okay. But none of it's going to matter because this Etched Champion's just going to bean him for 2.
Yeah, I think just being a little bit too aggressive with his life total.
Yeah.
He could have saved a lot of damage in the last couple of turns.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a, he could have pushed before combat, stop those Signal Pests from hitting. This Etched Champion's pretty slow.
Yeah. Well, now Jake has protection as well because he can now animate Ink Moth to
turn it. Yeah. And that's going to do it. Jake Koenig's going to get it 2-0 on Affinity over Grixis Death Shadow. Dan is going to hop out of the booth and try to find us another match real quick. Yeah, so, that matchup, I really just, Really, I think this is a story of, like, Rick being just a little bit, saying, I have Death Shadow in my deck, I'm okay with being out of the life total. But Affinity just hitting for so much damage, getting Rick so low that, like, the Etched Champion didn't even take 2 turns. It's just, that's game over right there. So, I don't know. I think more fatal pushes earlier would have been, sort of a good choice for Rick. But we'll see. Maybe there was some other reasoning behind it that we're missing. Dan is out of the booth right now. He's going to try to get us a second match, as we do have, a long time left in this round. So, and it looks like there are people coming to the table. Oh, that foot went away. Well, regardless, I'm going to have to reset some of these overlays. So we'll put life totals back at 20. We'll put the game scores to 0. We'll get the names reset and stuff. So, but yeah, pretty fast 2 games there. Affinity doing robots things. Dan, do we have a match?
We do have a match.
All right. Is our match taking some time to migrate? There we go. Okay. Who are we watching?
We're watching David playing as Martin.
Okay. So, let's see. So we have David Ahumada versus Martin Sheeler. What's the game score and whatnot?
This is going to be game 3. I'm not sure who's on the play, but
okay.
It is going to be Martin's on his Tezzeret deck.
Yep.
And David is on. He described it as Mardu Control / Burn, but those last 2 typically don't go together.
Sure, I mean, you could refer to a lot of Jeskai control decks as...
Control burn.
Yeah.
Fair, but without blue.
Without Snapcaster Mage to flash back your bolts, it's like, what are you doing?
Right. So it'll be interesting to see what variant of this David is on.
Mardu has a lot of different ways you can build it because no one has figured out a way that everyone likes yet.
Right. You could go into the Sun and Moon version where you're playing main deck Blood Moons and Simian
But that's
Spirit
not a
guys.
Mardu deck. That's just a red-white.
Right, but you could splash black for it.
But you're playing Blood Moon. Why would you splash black into your Blood Moon deck?
Maybe basics. Another option is that if it's actually just Mardu control, like you get cards like Crackling Doom and whatnot.
Yeah, well, so there was a list back when Nahiri first came out and was very, very hyped. There was a list that played like 4 Lilianas, 4 Nahiris, an Emrakul, and either, depending on how brave you were, Wall of Omens or Dark Confidant. And so that super duper grindy, like very removal heavy, almost creatureless build of Mardu was potentially very good. The problem is just like it's so like it lacked sort of a threat at the 2-drop slot. Like you play a Wall of Omens, like you could just get goifed down. It didn't have really good card selection. Like Nahiri is the only really selection you have.
Right, and Dark Confidant always feels a little. It's a little sketchy if you have Emrakul in your deck.
Look, dude, all I'm saying is like one time you flip an Emrakul, and the rest of the time you don't, and you still lose. Dark Confidant flipping Emrakul is probably not a good feeling.
No. It probably isn't.
But who knows? This could be any number of this could have young pyromancers in it, that sort of thing. Regardless, against this Esper deck, this Esper Tesserator deck, because Martin does splash white, there is, I think, against almost every single deck in the format except for Tron variants, there's a hard limit on at which point you can still win the game.
Yeah, it's just you get a lot of you get a lot of very powerful cards in the Mardu.
There's like Lava Spike in this deck. This is like the actual burn deck. Okay.
Oh, so it could just be like Mardu.
I think
cards.
Martin natural drew Thopter Sword.
Oh, that seems very good against
Jesus.
Against burn.
Looks like David's gonna start with suspending a Rift Bolt. We'll see how low he wants to go.
Right, and Martin's like since this is it just drew a whirl. Since this is a whirl deck, you don't have like 4 copies of each of those pieces either.
Right. I mean, you have maybe 2, I think, 2 or 3. But yeah, this is something that Whir of Invention is a card that Martin has played to great success on this stream. Like honestly, like I've been super impressed with this deck, like week in week out, at just like how Martin is very skilled at piloting it. This like Whir seems to add a lot of consistency because this is at its core an ensnaring bridge deck.
Yes.
And like Find Your Bridge is quite good. So gonna remember the Rift Bolt trigger here. Martin falling to 17. David being on the play, pretty good. If you're the burn deck, so he'll put another Shockland aside. This is like Mardu burn, but it also has Lingering Souls in it. So
right. Well, one thing that David probably wanted to really see is a turn 1 creature. Because that can really stack up the damage, especially against a deck like Tesseract.
Pretty light on removal.
Yeah, which can be pretty light.
Whew. But
David's going to run out 2 cards here. No fear for the Stubborn now. Not that it's going to matter.
Martin's never been afraid in his life.
I mean, Martin's at 11 already. 10 now.
10 now with the fetch, yeah. But
Storm count 3.
Yes, the Rift Bolt does make it Storm count 3. The problem is that, and funnily enough, David also at 14. The problem is that assuming David can't destroy, Thopter Foundry or Sword of the Meek, he has to kill Martin next turn, because otherwise Martin is just gonna make Thopters gain life. Well, although Martin does draw an IOK here, which the question is, you don't want to fire that off. Maybe play a tap land, fire off the IOK, just get 3 points of damage out of your opponent's hand.
Don't forget the Thopter Sword does take a little bit of mana to set up, right? So you really can't.
I guess it's 2 turns away if Martin wants to jam it now.
Right, you're not really gaining life until the
it was super duper right though. Okay, an Inquisition will reveal a Bolt and a Lingering Souls, and it's got to be the Bolt, I think.
It has to be the Bolt, yeah.
Lingering Souls, he, David can still get value off of it out of the yard. Martin, though, this way does know that there's no artifact destruction in hand, so he can feel safer about running things out next turn. But yeah, Lingering Souls is just super slow, which is why it's not normally in a burn deck.
Right, I think, in lieu of Lingering Souls, you would just rather have
More burn.
yeah, just more burn.
All right, so we're going to see if we get a Shockland or a tap or a basic here. We are going to get a basic, so we'll put David at 13. He'll make 2 tokens and pass, but this clock is super duper slow. Mm-hmm. Like this is the type of clock that loses to I play Thopter, I play Sword, you know.
Yeah, and David doesn't have without having access to green, is not like, he's not threatening a Targus command at like a ton of power.
Sure. Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Right, like a Targus command being 5 damage is like absurd.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But Martin's
he's thinking about some stuff.
Yeah, I mean he does have an Opal, which if he has a land, does mean he can't turn it on.
I don't know if he does though.
Because if he has land, he can play Thopter Sword, Opal, Pithing Needle.
The Thopter Sword costs 4 to play. They're both 2 drops.
Oh, you're right. It is too.
Oh man, Martin's gonna discard Sword of the Meek. Put David to 11. Put himself up to 12 and kill a token. That is a brutal turn. Shambling Vent gonna come down here now for David. So another very slow card.
Despite the very aggressive start.
Ooh, another Thopter Foundry.
Also, what was curious here is David did not flash back the Lingering Souls.
Right. Yeah, I wonder about that as well. Draw a step here for David. It looks like he's drawn a Godless Shrine, but this will animate the Shambling Vent. He'll get in for 3. He'll go up to 13. Martin down to 8. So the clock is back on. But David, if he had a couple Lingering Souls tokens, would be in a much better place.
Yeah. So David, Martin needs to find another.
You can just play another Thopter Foundry.
Right.
Or just the Needle.
The Needle's fine.
Oh, Needle named Shambling Vent.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yeah. This also turns on Opal, so the Opal can now be tapped for mana and sacked. Which means that you can start the
yeah,
Thopter
you can.
Sword.
Well, and so this is the thing. If David's not careful, his creatures are just going to die at instant speed here.
Yep.
I think he sees it, though. Yeah, Martin's like, make mana, sack this,
and
trigger.
And
this,
now
this game is pretty over.
This is where the corner has been turned.
Right, this is what we were talking about. We said there's a hard limit to any deck in this format. Martin's going to gain 2 life here. He's going to untap with the ability to gain 3 more. Okay, so he'll go down to 9 for this, but then he'll go back up to 10, assuming he makes a Thopter.
Well, it's not just that Martin is, gaining a bunch of life here. It's also that he's shutting off David's avenues to winning.
Oh, absolutely. Like, David no longer really has burn as an option.
Well, like, you're certainly not going to get there with creatures anymore. And now...
but you're not going to get there with spells either.
Right, because Martin now just gains 4 a turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't really need... It's not really pressure to do anything here. You just gain 4 a turn for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and, David is almost hellbent, and Lingering Souls, despite making a lot of tokens, does not... when you can make a Lingering Souls, and one of them is a 2/3 every turn, just not great. So Martin will attack for 1 here, just sending in the lone soul. That Pithing Needle also proving to be extremely good.
Yeah,
IOK here from David. So this is the problem, is I think David might be just like, his deck might be a little bit unfocused in that, like, Lava Spike and Bump in the Night are not typically cards you run alongside Inquisition and Lingering Souls, because one of them wants to end the game as quickly as possible, and the other one is playing an attrition style.
Right. If you're playing an attrition deck, you really don't want to trade a card for 3 damage. Right. You only want to do that if you're, like, going all in. So Martin had the option there of Whirling, and he definitely thought about it for a while. But then, it came to the conclusion that
who cares?
I just might be better served just making a bunch of Thopters and getting a bunch of life.
Yeah, so he'll go up to 13.
Yeah.
Tapping 3 mana to do it.
And
back down to 12, so we'll keep him at 13, though, because he'll almost assuredly get a basic in there.
Right, and at this point, we're almost, Martin just can start turning these things sideways.
Yeah, 6 Thopters, like...
7.
Yeah, sorry, 7 Thopters, one's a 2/3, the ability to make a ton of stuff. On the untap, like, this is a 2-turn clock. It doesn't feel good. This is, it's sort of a hopeless situation against this combo. You really have to kill that Foundry.
Well, you're attacking for 8 here, so you certainly should attack.
Yeah, please, everything. Okay, so we're gonna do some.
Well, Martin wants to attack with 1 with the sword.
Right. So this is an attack for 7. He'll leave 1 back as a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And David's like, well, I wish I had brought my Shatterstorms out to play. David will take 6, though.
Okay. Never a good sign when you're blocking.
Not on a deck that's playing Rift Bolts. Yeah.
Also, still has that flashback the Lingering Soul.
Right. Here we'll get a full cast and flashback on Souls.
Which will still not keep him alive.
No, it will not. Martin will make another 4 Thopters.
And that should be just enough damage.
Yeah. And Martin's also, conveniently enough back up to where he started on life almost. Martin draws a Tezzeret, as just to add insult to injury. Notably, that Tezzeret, as we learned last week, when you ult it, it counts all the Thopters and it does double. Right, this is an attack for 11.
David doesn't really have any blocks here that work.
Yeah, he's just going to die.
Yep.
That's going to do it. Martin Sheeler gets it. 3 games over this Mardu Burn Brew. Go check, yeah. Dan's going to check to see if we can maybe see a 3rd match. Martin, looking at the graveyard saying, maybe you wanted to flash this back, maybe not. But Tezzeret with the Thopter Sword online, just a little bit too much for Mardu Burn to defeat. I really think that that combo against basically non-Tron decks, notably Ugin is really good against it because you play it and you can 0 to get all the Thopters, you can -2 to get the Foundry with it. Like, Ugin is quite good. So, yeah. Yeah, so we'll go to, hopefully, maybe Dan will find us another match to go to. If not, we can talk about some stuff up here in the booth. Yeah, we will see. Dan's coming back? Yes, no? Dan is shaking his head no. That's fine. We can throw it up to the booth, and then we maybe also take a short break once we talk for a bit. So, Modern, the format. Honestly, not in a bad spot right now, it seems like. We just had a big weekend of 3 GPs we talked about a bit last week, but
3 standard GPs.
Yeah, sorry, but the week before that there was Modern stuff, right? So Modern, going into Vegas, dare I say it seems like not unhealthy? I'm not saying it's a healthy perfect format, but it's in a better place than it was last year at this time.
I think that's a very fair statement. Think back, a year, even 6 months.
Yeah.
The format was just dominated by the deck of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
The deck of the week, whether it be the Shadow, some variant of Dredge, even there was the Eldrazi deck was overperforming at a period of time. At this point, it's just play whatever you want.
Right, and that's sort of where you want Modern to be, right? We're sort of getting back to a point where things have stabilized. Yes, the format is still very fast. Yes, the format is still very aggressive. But even two Sphinx's Rev in the main blue-white control saw some success. That's fallen off a bit. I think Death Shadow sort of Grixis Death Shadow has a better matchup against it than the Jund version. But the format has gotten to a much more reasonable place than it was before. I think, the twin ban happened, and then, there was just, mass instability, and it's sort of started to stabilize, which is, kind of nice.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know if there's, an S tier in Modern right now.
Mm-hmm.
That being, decks are just better than everything else. There's certainly a lot of tier 1 decks,
Yeah.
Various Death Shadow decks. Dredge probably up there as well. And then just an ocean of tier 2 decks or tier 1.5 decks.
Yeah, counter the Vizier combo deck.
Probably also tier 1.
Also, randomly Storm is good again.
Yeah, and then there's lots of decks that we haven't seen on stream, but are still just as playable.
Right.
Merfolk is as playable as it's always been.
It's fallen off a lot in results for some reason.
I think it's just fallen out of popularity.
Sure.
Right. There's just so many decks now that playing Merfolk can be a bit dull if you're playing it for weeks on end.
But do you seriously? Merfolk pilots are the most dedicated pilots.
Sure,
I'm serious.
we
have no Fish players, you know this to be true. Although to be fair, one of the Fish players I do know was playing Shadow tonight. So
right. We also have stuff the rise of Eldrazi-tron, which is kind of a new, which is not exactly a new take, because Eldrazi-tron has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But has finally kind of gained mainstream popularity as opposed to being a fringe deck.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the nice thing is there are a lot of very valid options that you can play and not feel like my deck is just that you're not going to have good matchups everywhere, but like there are a lot of options you can play to like feel like you're playing a.
They feel like you're playing actually like real Magic.
Yeah. I think, and that's what I think that's what we wanted. I think that's what people who liked Modern were like. You took the safety valve off the format. What are you doing? And then we've had this long period of instability, but now it's back. Moving to a format that has gotten more unstable in the past 6 months than it's ever been with Standard because of bannings. This weekend, Aetherworks Marvel just continues to just destroy.
Right. It's funny you should mention that. I think the breakout deck of the weekend, or at least one that like put up unexpectedly high results, was Green Black.
Right. Yeah.
A lot. And there's various builds of the Green Black, right? In Omaha, a lot of the CFB guys were playing the Delirium version of it,
right?
Which had long been touted as too slow for the format.
Sure.
4x tireless tracker in the main is maybe a little slow if your opponents are marveling you, but no, a lot of them piloted them to reasonable success. The European GP had 4 green black decks in the top 8.
I mean, you're a green black. You play green black energy, correct?
Yeah, a green black energy. Also, still a fine deck. But at the end of the day, Marvel is certainly, if not the best deck, at least one of.
If you look at the top 32
of the best decks,
if you look at the top 32s from this past weekend, the story is that like Marvel is anywhere between like a third to half of the top 32, which is like maybe it's just because there's a ton of people playing it, but like also it's probably just really really good.
Right, and that makes the warps the format just in of itself, right? Because if the deck represents half the field, you just pre-board for it, right? So all of a sudden the main deck configurations of a lot of decks are just really wonky.
There are some decks that I saw from like top 8s and stuff that were playing like 3 Dissenters Deliverance main.
Yeah.
Like green black, like just like.
Well, Sean McLaren kind of popularized that a couple weeks ago. He played 4 in the main.
Card's great against Marvel.
Yeah, card cycles. Like
cycling is actually so good.
Almost every deck has actually not almost every deck. Every deck actually does have a target for this.
Against green black energy?
You have Gearhawks.
Oh right, damn.
Yeah. Also, some of the green black energy decks play Heart of Curing and whatnot.
Oh yeah, if they're like very aggro.
But like this has a target against every deck, and if you just draw it and I don't want it anymore. Cycling for 1 is like almost free.
Right, it's not.
It is a concession in the first couple of turns, especially if you play 4 of these and you end up with an opening hand of like
if
2
you
or
end
3.
up with 2 of them, you're just like, this is. It's the same problem that you had with Gitaxian Probe, where like I can't tell if I should mulligan this or not because I'm going to draw 2 random cards, but it's worse because you have to actually pay for the cycles.
Sure. But at the same time, like it is a fine card to have a lot of the time. This blows up a Gearhulk, which might mean you can push in through some final damage. But all in all, like not an unreasonable card to main deck and main deck in multiples.
Yeah, this is a card that it would have been nice to have had around when Smuggler's Copter was in the format.
Sure.
I think that there.
But
are
again,
a lot of,
that would have been if Smuggler's Copter's format working, right?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like you don't really want a format where this is main decked.
Sure, that's fair. I think that if Aetherworks Marvel disappeared, this card would be laughable in the main deck. You can't do that. Like this card's sure, this card hits Gearhulk and stuff, but let's be real. The main target is Aetherworks Marvel.
Right, and the hard Kierans and stuff like that. If Mardu ended up being as oppressive as people
were
thought
worried
it was,
about,
then this is an excellent card, and this card might have been printed for that, right? Because don't forget, yes, you can hit Marvel with this, but they do usually get a spin for it. Which
that's
this doesn't do anything for it.
If they spin into
anything,
this
is discard advantage, right? Like even if they hit a Rogue Refiner, still fine. Fine.
Yeah.
But it looks like our round 1 is winding down here.
That's good. Do we know Let's see. We have like a little bit over 5 minutes. So we'll go to a quick break. We'll do a quick 4-minute break, I'd say. We'll set a timer and stuff. We should be back right around when that finishes. Should have the second round on the way. Yeah, so stick with us. MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern. We will be back in a moment with second round. See you then.
From beneath the sand, things can take me close, seem so far away. Across this universe, she lives another day. I know the reason she stays. I know the reason she's so far away. I know the reason she stays.
All right, and we're back here at MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. Dan is indisposed, but he'll be back shortly. We do have a second round coming up, so I'm going to throw it down to the play overlay. We are, I believe, going to be watching Martin Sheeler's Esper Tesserator deck again as he sits down there. I don't even have to change the thing. Oh, that's bad. Wait, is that Paul? Oh, Martin, don't do me like this. Oh, it is Martin on the right. Oh, brutal. Okay, so we are going to have to change this whole thing around, but we're going to have Martin Sheeler on Esper Tesserator versus Paul Green on Blue-White Control. This matchup, Dan, welcome back to the booth, by the way, is... Let's just say we don't have to worry about finding a second match this round, probably.
Probably not, unless something goes horribly wrong.
I mean, even if something goes horribly wrong, it's still going to take a while.
I mean, can Paul beat Thopter Sword?
No.
So, like...
Probably not. Gideon Jura, maybe?
Does that beat Thopter Sword, or does that just, like, buy you a little bit of time?
I mean, it lets you, like, EOT bounce it, untap, like, you know, play, like, have Cryptic up to counter it on the way back down. I don't think Paul can beat that combo once it's assembled. Mm-hmm. Although Paul is playing some number of Gideon of the Trials in his list, which could allow him to get some early pressure in on Martin. Like, Martin being a bridge deck, you know, it's not super relevant for Paul because he always has Cryptic Command to bounce that and whatnot.
Sure.
But yeah, Paul... It'll be interesting. One thing that I'm thinking about is Martin almost certainly has some number of Academy Ruins in his deck. Paul does have a lot of ways to shut this card down, but if he didn't, this card would be unbeatable because you just keep looping Thopter Foundry or whatever.
Right. And you just keep playing into counter magic, and if it gets countered, who cares?
If it has countered, you're just going to draw it next turn. Like, you know, like 5 mana, you can just, you know, play Thopter Foundry and put it back on top every turn. Academy Ruin's great, you can't mill yourself either.
It's true, you will never be decked.
You know, in my upkeep, Academy Ruins. Well, no, but then if they have a Thought Scour, like, then you lose.
Sure. Or they crack a fetch with a Heathen Crab in play.
Sure. Or that's when you flash in your Deceiver Exarch to untap your Academy Ruins and put another card on top. Yeah, anyways.
You need to do that twice, though.
That's fine. Martin looks like he has a pretty reasonable draw. Nile Spellbomb, some lands, a Tezzeret. Maybe a little bit slow, but, like, everything is slow, so...
Spellbomb is actually going to be pretty reasonable in this match.
Spellbomb against Paul's Graveyard is pretty decent. Paul is on a 4 Snapcaster deck, so...
It would be better if it was a Relic, because, you know, Relic, you could actually prune the Graveyard and, like, keep it in
you
check.
just keep it going, yeah. Relic also less restrictive on how much it costs when you cycle it, but... Or not how much, but, like, that it costs generic instead of black. Paul with the Colonnade, Martin with the Darkslick Shores.
Yeah, if Martin didn't know what Paul was on
you do
before,
now.
He definitely knows now.
There's no doubt. It's Blue-White Control. Martin with a... these Tezzerets are very difficult for Paul to beat. Like, his deck doesn't have a good time against them. Paul with the Spreading Seas here. Gonna go after one of Martin's lands. He'll eat the Darkslick Shores. That's a correct choice. Martin's much more reliant on black. This, you know... If Paul knew nothing, he'd see that, like, hey, in the dark, this cycles for black, so I should take it.
I mean, Martin does have a lot of cards that are kind of, you know, embarrassing this matchup. Not the least of which is Fatal Push.
Sure.
I mean, it's Fatal
Push is really good against Colonnade, actually. I don't hate some number of Fatal. Like, how are they winning the... Oh.
There's a Gideon Jar.
Gideon of the Trials.
Okay, Gideon of the Trials, correct. Only becomes a 4/4, so can be Grasp of Darkness.
Yes. That interaction is somewhat less relevant in Modern. No one is really playing that many Grasp of Darknesses. It does get pathed. We're going to Emblem, I believe. So, the third ability reads, you get an emblem with, as long as you control Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win.
Yeah, people freaked out a little bit when they first saw this, but, you know, ultimately,
it's like if they can kill your Gideon, they can definitely kill you.
Right.
Or vice versa. If they can kill you, they can kill your Gideon, sort of thing. Martin, I think here, I sort of don't hate it. I like the idea of ghost quartering your own island to find and floating mana, so you can play this Tezzeret through counter, like without Paul having counters up.
I kind of like Oh, is he gonna play a Tezzeret here?
Yeah.
Okay. I also didn't hate.
Ooh, and this actually will kill the Gideon. You just minus for sure.
Yeah, I also don't hate whirling for Crucible. It might be a little bit slow, but this being able to kill the Gideon is kind of insane here.
Tezzeret minus on either the Torpor Orb or the Thopter Foundry.
I think I almost certainly target the Spellbomb.
Or not the Thopter Foundry. Okay, the Torpor Orb.
Okay,
no, because you might actually want to use the Spellbomb.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this makes you removal proof, whereas like you kind of want the Torpor Orb.
Oh sure. The Torpor Orb's like okay.
The Torpor Orb's okay. It does stop any Snapcaster shenanigans.
Yeah. Paul still has this emblem, but doesn't have a Gideon Planeswalker. Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas, is such a fantastic card at pressuring control decks, though, because it makes 5/5s. The ult is extremely threatening with even just like 4 or 5 artifacts in play.
And we're seeing one of the biggest weaknesses in this deck. You have no Lightning Bolt.
And Paul? Yeah.
Yeah, if you bolted the Tezzeret here, it would be, it'd be fine.
It'd be extreme. Yeah, you're just like, yeah, we traded some stuff. He has a 5/5. I can deal. I have infinite removal in my deck. Oops, I put Paul's life total over his name.
Paul fetching here, so
Gonna Serum Visions, yeah.
Sure.
Yep, fetch before you scry, kids.
Yeah, it actually, the more and more I think about it, I really dislike that Martin animated Torpor Orb. That's the one of the 2 cards that you want to keep around more.
Sure.
And, Paul certainly has 4 Path Exiles in this deck, so once you lose the Torpor Orb, it's just gone forever.
Yeah.
One way Paul grinding this way back in this game is with Snapcaster value.
That's fair. Yeah, this Tezzeret, though, like, Martin's just going to be able to plus unhindered for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And, at that point, it's very difficult to, like, you're drawing 2 cards a turn, and the +1 is such good selection.
Yeah, the first one's, like, pretty much instant stirrings, right? Well,
yeah, you can't get lands.
You can't get lands, but,
Martin will play a Ghost Quarter. Tezzeret will go up. Down? Down. Oh, okay. Not sure how much I like this one, though.
I mean, if Paul doesn't have... So the problem is this is extremely weak if Paul has access to a Supreme Verdict.
Right, and I mean, he almost certainly does. Paul will play a Snapcaster target Serum Visions.
Paul's like going to be
ambush
okay.
Ambush Vipering the Snapcaster, and he wants to kill this Tezzeret, I think. Martin has a Fatal Push. And now Paul has a Wrath. Oh, this was so not good.
Yeah, does Martin...
Martin should have pushed. I just think he forgot.
Yeah, he almost certainly forgot.
Oh, no.
That's pretty brutal.
No.
Yeah,
if you push the Snapcaster, it's super duper okay.
It's fine. It's just next turn, it's like, okay, plus Tezzeret again. Let's go find more action.
Yeah, here's a single black. Paul does need to exile his graveyard, though.
Yes.
No, he targeted Serum Visions, and he didn't actually cast it. He never tapped the 3rd land. But if Martin has another Tezzeret, this is like when you resolve that card. You just put your Haymaker on the table. Here's another, here's Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas. Now Martin will plus, he'll go looking for an artifact. Let's see what he finds here. The reveal is going to be a Pentad Prism, okay? Pentad Prism, a little bit of ramp, also taps for 3 for Whirl. And I think we're having a discussion here. Spellbomb? Okay, so discussion had. Paul's gonna play and crack a land. He'll go to 8. So wait, what was up with Spellbomb there?
So it doesn't come up very often because Spellbomb usually doesn't attack.
Yeah.
But
it was already tapped.
Right. So, but it's like when it dies.
Oh, but when it dies, you still get to. Oh, so he didn't activate the ability, but he still paid for the trigger.
Correct.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, no, Kelnon in the chat has it completely right. We just super missed it. Okay, so Paul animated Colonnade and just punched the Tezzeret off the table. Pretty good. Martin only had 4 mana. If Martin had another black, he could have pushed the Colonnade. Here, though, we'll see him take a mana leak out of a hand of Spreading Seas Path Tech Edge. And then we'll see what he'll follow up with. I like Pentad Prism here a lot. Sets up for future whirls. The thing here is, like, unless Paul draws, like, a Sphinx's Revelation or something, Martin is, like, way up on cards and has whirls to, like, you know, get him to his advantage engines like Thopter Foundry and stuff.
Right. I don't hate Martin running out of Grafdigger's Cage here as well.
Yeah, I like that too.
Because one of the ways that Paul gets back in this game is
Snapcaster
shenanigans.
Paul plays Spreading Seas. Martin thinks about life.
Almost certainly talking in Swamp.
Yeah, and then notably Paul has constricted Martin off of black.
Well, no, he has the Pentad Prism in play.
Oh, yeah. But, like, that's fair. It also makes it a little easier to whirl. Ooh, we're going to Tech Edge here. Tech Edge your Howard Fountain. Martin thinks about that, too. Yeah, well, again, Pentad Prism.
Yeah.
But, importantly, Martin can whirl for 3. Oh, and he... okay. Martin draws 1/2 of Thopter's Sword. So if he resolves that and then resolves a whirl, he just, like, kind of wins.
Yes. So one thing I didn't like with what Martin just did is he tapped an island for that.
Okay. We're going to whirl for 1 here. This I have to imagine is Pithing Needle. Oh,
no, whirl for 3.
Whirl for 2. Sorry.
Whirl for 2, excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's because it's 3 from the Prism.
3 from the Prism, Island, and Grafdigger's Cage.
Right, yeah. Okay. So now we have this in play.
But had Martin tapped for this differently, he wouldn't have to... he'd still have a counter on the Pentad Prism.
Right.
Admittedly, that would involve tapping Ghost Quarter, but at this point, like, if Paul hits you with the Colonnade, you're, like, kind of thrilled about that.
Yeah, because he doesn't have counter magic for your second combo piece.
So he knows Paul has a Path to Exile on hand and a couple of extra drawn cards.
And this is the moment of truth. Paul doesn't have it. Paul will draw. This is game over for Paul, I think.
We're getting close, yeah.
Like, he's already down to 7 life because he took that huge hit from the Tezzerator, from the Tezzeret artifacts. So, like, he doesn't have a lot of time to play around. And, like, what's your out here? Your out is go to game 2 and open on Stony Silence.
Right. The problem is Martin is at such a high life total. You don't have the outs of, like, hit you with Colonnade and, like, maybe steal a game.
Detention Sphere is good, TX Rager. I agree. Yeah, hit you with Colonnade. Sure.
The problem is, like, Detention Sphere isn't even, like, absurd because Martin can sack whatever is targeted.
Right. Thinking about things in his hand. He's got a push and something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he only has 1 play, right?
Here I feel like you just make the... Okay.
I'm kind of curious why Martin didn't go for making a Thopter here. Is he playing around, like, Surgical?
I don't know. I don't think you can play around Surgical. And also, if Paul has Surgical main board, like, meh.
Yeah, like... I'm really surprised why Martin didn't make a Thopter there.
I am as well. Maybe he wants to be able to make more than 1. I think that's what it is. He just wants to be able to make more than 1 at a time. But this is going to turn pretty quickly into a bunch of little blue dudes that Paul is unable to stop.
Right, because it's colorless to sack it, so, like, there's no reason why we can't tap this Ghost Quarter. Like,
so the point is, tapping... So now he'll tap out for it, but if you just tap with 1 up, you can get Surgical, whereas if you tap with 2 up, you can't.
Right. This also allows Paul to resolve whatever he wants here.
Yeah, so this will be a Cryptic Command.
Right, but, like, you weren't ever...
Bouncing the Foundry. Okay. I mean, Martin has 4 power in play in the air. His Ghost Quarter will get Ghost Quartered. He'll search, presumably. So the thing is, Martin has another Whirl, and if that resolves, then, like, he can just get Pithing Needle. And then Paul is really, really locked out.
Well... So Martin's going to probably lead off by trying to cast the Thopter Foundry. If Paul has counter magic for it, he can just whirl and get the second one.
Sure. Paul is, I believe, like,
Ooh, so one thing that is important to note here is that
Martin's he natural draws Pithing Needle, so that's pretty good.
yeah. And these
This
stoppers,
has to get leaked. I think Paul has a leak question mark?
and these stoppers
no.
these stoppers are blue, right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
are blue.
So like they will contribute to the improvise.
No, Improverge doesn't, or like the
Or does improvise not work like Convoke?
it doesn't work like Convoke. You can't like, the number of colored artifacts in this game is so small that like
Sure.
it's not as so.
So then actually Martin is rather substantially cut off from playing this for quite some time.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like Paul did mana leak the.
The pitting needle.
Yeah, Paul will go to 5.
Yeah. The Path to Exiles now are just better Swords of Plowshare.
Right. Animate, Colonnade, and Attack. Wow. Martin will go to 19.
I mean, you're winning this race.
Are you? No, you're not.
Oh, actually, no, you're not.
No,
you're already
not.
at 5.
You're super not winning this race. Also, Martin doesn't have Fatal Push. He does have he did draw Polluted Delta though, which is huge. That can get him to a black source that would allow him to Fatal Push.
Not only a black source, that also gives him his 3rd blue source.
Right. Yeah. So he could also whir.
Yes. So if I'm Martin here, I kind of like just equipping.
Equip one of your Thopters, hit him for 3.
Yeah, because that leaves up Whirl and apply some amount of pressure.
Instead, we'll just attack for 2.
Okay.
Paul go to 3. This is not a great spot for Paul.
No, it's certainly not.
Martin will fetch and shock. It looks like.
Might be going for the Whirl right now. This.
Yeah, Paul with only 2 cards. You just like hope he doesn't have leak again, or just re-resolve Foundry. That'll get negated. That's fine though. You're just baiting these resources out of Paul's hand, and he needs to. I think he does have a leak in hand though. So the whir as it comes is not going to do it. Colonnade will punch again.
But I mean, like we're just down on board, right? If we have life totals correct.
Yeah, is it possible that? No, because Paul didn't he got hit for 10, right?
Yeah, it seems that way.
Martin also draws another Shockland, which is pretty good. He's going to equip the sword, and he'll attack for 3. Paul, path 1. Martin says, okay. Take 1, I guess. Okay, actually, this racing idea from Paul looks like not awful. Like, I don't know if it's going to work, but is in a pretty... Ooh, he draws a D-Sphere. We're in it.
Well, see, one thing that Martin has
But then
done...
he's just going to get his Colonnade pushed, so...
Right. So he is going to fire up the D-Sphere. I think he kind of has to. Right?
Yeah. We'll see what Martin tries to go for next. Paul has a mana leak, so he could theoretically leak a push on Colonnade. Ooh, Martin draws a Tezzeret, though. Tezzeret would make an artifact into a 5/5.
Tezzeret would also immediately die.
It's fine, dude. You made a 5/5. Yeah, it'll get leaked. Okay. So, back over to Paul. He'll draw. He's hellbent other than this Colonnade. Martin will go to 6. This racing idea from Paul actually turning out to be doing mad work. Martin will take a draw step. The thing is Martin just has to leave up push, right? Or just resolve bridge.
He leave up push. Oh, okay. There's also a bridge, but ooh, I don't know how much I like this bridge. I think he should have gone for the Whirl there.
Paul will cycle a Censor.
Yeah.
What format are we playing? Okay, so now Martin just the pressure's all off, right?
Yeah.
He does need to get cards out of hand, though.
I mean, he does have a Spell Guide. And,
he has a whir.
And a Whirl. The problem is if he whirls and it gets...
He's going to whir main phase here.
Yep. No,
for 2. Paul has a Cryptic to bounce his own D-Sphere. Seems pretty good. That D-Sphere can come back down and get the bridge, maybe?
D-Sphere can get the bridge.
Or the sword. I like the Spellskite here from Martin. Worst comes to worst, you put the sword on the Spellskite and just beat.
If he puts on the Spellskite, he might fall to precipitously low from a hit. Yes, like Paul's counting on his mana right now. Looks like he's 1 short from animating and D-Sphering.
Sure. Martin draws a Collective Brutality.
Which, that's just game, right? If Paul's at 2, that's just game.
Assuming it resolves, yeah. Should just be Drain You. Please just be Drain You. Why is it... Oh, Paul revs in response. Okay. This is a ref for 4.
This is a ref for 4.
Paul will go up to 6.
Yeah.
And down to 4.
Unfortunately, Martin not choosing a duress mode on it as well.
Martin goes up to 8. Right, yeah, because now he'd get to take, like, the best card out of there. But, again, like, bridge in play?
Bridge in play...
I think it was for 3, actually. No, it was for 4.
It was for 4. Yeah. Bridge in play, but D-Sphere also in
Spreading Seizure, Watery Grave, draw. Yeah, also, the Spellskite can save the bridge. Benjamin Berry points out in the chat.
Yes,
if he goes to D-Sphere, you just, like, redirect, so... You know. Paul at 4, Martin at 8. This game's extremely close.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like I just don't know if it's going to work out for Paul.
I mean, Paul now has enough cards where he can...
There's an emblem in play that says Paul can't lose the game.
Yeah, so this means that... I mean, he just effectively played it as, you know, gaining a bunch of life.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to be able to hit with it. He plays a Temple of Enlightenment. Woo, we are in standard.
Okay, yeah, so, you know, the tables really have turned. Paul drew enough cards where, like, he's getting to the point where...
I just don't know if he can beat the inevitable reassembly of the combo.
Yeah, but, like, Martin's quite far away from it, and he has no card advantage, whereas Paul has infinite cards.
He has infinite, but just, like, they don't do anything.
They really don't.
D-Sphere your bridge is pretty good, though.
Let's see if Martin remembers to redirect.
Oh,
he does.
Brutal. Goodbye, Spellskite. Paul might have to Cryptic bounce his own D-Sphere replay. No, because then Martin just gets a Spellskite
That does
back.
not work the way you want it to work.
That's bad. Oh, no.
I mean, Paul's effectively gaining 1 life every turn from this Gideon. Yeah, one thing that that Martin could have done.
Oh, he'll just bounce the bridge here. Uh-oh. I mean, let's see if, you know, you've got to have here's the attack. 0, push this. Paul says, do I have the answer? No, I do not. Oh, no. Martin going to go to 4. But the colonnade is down. Paul has another one coming this next turn, but Martin might be able to replay the bridge unless Paul draws into some counter magic. Notably, Snapcaster's not live right now. Ooh, is Snapcaster live under the bridge, though?
No, Martin's gotten the second push.
Okay. He'll spread it. He doesn't have second push now. I guess he has a Flooded Strand, but I don't think he has, you know, if he has...
He also has a Dark Slick Shores on the side here.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
It draws a Watery Grave as well, so...
not bad.
Doesn't matter all that much.
4?
3.
Bridge?
Let's see if the bridge resolves. He can pay for Mana Leak now. Might want to play another card just to get under Snapcaster beats.
Yeah.
He does.
But now bridge back in play is rough for Paul. Elspeth?
Elspeth also doesn't do a whole lot, right?
Because I mean, as long as Martin stays hellbent. Paul's like, what permanent do I plus this Gideon of the Trials on? Back over to Martin. I okay the draw. That'll go up. Can't take anything.
Yeah, she has a second Gideon and a Verdict in the land.
Yeah.
So we're really, really looking to resolve this stuff to sort. This is a way to end the game.
Jace. Architect of Thought. What do you get with this?
I think he should draw a couple cards. I think he's looking for the next Cryptic.
Sure. This is a path land. Yeah, the land is draw a card. It is an irrigated farmland.
I think they give him path and Verdict or land.
Yeah, I think that the path Verdict don't actually matter, but drawing a card might. Here we'll cycle an irrigated farmland and draw. The thing is, as soon as Paul does find a Cryptic, the game's over, right?
Yes. Martin also has the, unless Martin can find another Spellskite, or... No, Spellskite's woefully bad, because Paul has double Verdict in hand.
Yeah, you need to find, like...
I think Paul has played 3 Cryptics, so he's looking for the last one.
Oh, yeah, because the Snapcasters aren't live.
Yeah. Paul also has the option of alting the
Jace.
The Jace.
I mean, that's what when it first came down, that's what I immediately flashed to. You know, you get, I don't know, you get probably your Cryptic out of your deck, and something out of Martin's deck.
Yeah, Paul's immediately cashing in for cards, though.
I'm not sure I like that. Martin says land other Gideon. Paul takes that. Bottoms a Verdict.
See, I kind of disagree with that split as well. There's already a Gideon in hand.
Right.
So you might want to... And 2 Verdicts in hand as well.
Yeah. Martin with an Opal, very clearly does have Metalcraft. We'll pass it back. Paul with a draw step. Paul just like has to draw Cryptic. Paul with like enough mana to activate 2 colonnades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Martin is super dead once this bridge goes down.
Word,
Draws a
word.
world though.
I okay to check for counter magic. Paul shows him stone cold nothing.
Oh baby.
Oh baby. Whoa.
No.
Wait, no. Tap your artifacts, right? We are worrying for. Oh, please be okay. Yeah.
So Paul does have a couple turns here. Martin's gonna start gaining Ocean of Life, and Paul can't verdict twice. Right. Keep in mind that while his life total is at 4, he's effectively at 13 because of the Gideon.
Yeah.
Also, Paul might be feeling a little silly now cashing in the Jace.
Oh, dude, the Jace would have been so good against these.
Because, yeah, the Thopters don't...
They just wouldn't have done it. There'd been one that hit for 1 and just, like, kept... And then you could just plus the Gideon on that one.
Not even that.
No.
You animate a colonnade and block.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
no. Martin says make 3 Thopters up to 7.
I think Paul cashing in the Jace might have ended this game.
Oh no. There's so much mana for Martin. He says attack the Gideon for 4. Sure. Sack the Opal. Go up to 8. Play another Opal. Make a Thopteroni. Fatal push left for Martin.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like we're at the point where he's like making like 8 or some Thopters.
If he makes 8 Thopters, he hits the Gideon and Paul at the same time. Gideon dies, and then Paul's at a negative life total. Correct?
Yes.
I mean, Paul does have the ability to verdict, so.
Also, notably here, Cryptic Command no longer good. Because you can't bounce the bridge, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, because Martin will just make blockers.
Yeah, also,
this is why you can't beat this combo.
Right, you could with Jace. With Jace,
you were like sway in the game. You just ult the Jace eventually.
Paul may have been a little too hasty looking for the Cryptic Command.
Right, and not realizing what would happen if Martin just draws a whir.
Yeah. Or draws another Thopter, right?
Yeah, draws a... Paul also has like 8 cards left in his whole library.
Yeah. The problem also is, like, Martin doing this, he's going to gain enough life.
That Paul can't kill him.
Yeah, Paul doesn't have an alpha of, like, tap your team with Cryptic and do this.
3? Okay, 1. Martin says... Oh.
So Paul's going to try Castle. Now, this is not actually going to do what Paul wants it to do.
He's just going to get the Foundry with it, right?
No, well, he's going to target the Foundry with it. But Marty can just sack another artifact and then bring it back.
No, the Foundry, not the sword.
Right, the sword, but he can still make these 8 Thopters.
Sure, yeah, he can make 8 Thopters, you're right. Yeah. So Martin is going to make 7, I think we said. And he already made 2, so he'll go up to 15.
And then the Thopter Foundry will go away.
Yeah. It's like, cool, dude. Like, you got it.
Well, I mean, this does have the downside of, Paul has like 3 verdicts in hand.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. So as soon as.
So now Paul can just go like, boom, boom, explode things, right? Martin has what looks like... Oh, wait, but it's Martin's turn. Is Paul just dead? Is he not just dead? To just, like, getting the Gideon deaded and then him deaded?
Looks like there's 9 in total. The Thopter...
no, there's 6, 9, okay.
Yeah.
So Paul...
there's 10 power.
Okay, so now he's dead, though. Unless he has removal.
If we have the life totals correct...
Oh, wait, he can block one with a colonnade.
Martin has a push in hand, though.
Oh, yeah. And Paul does not have enough to block with another colonnade. He's close, but the lands that he tapped for cast out meant that he can't.
1, 3, 4, 5. No, he does have enough for double colonnade.
4 attacks. Snapcaster? Grave Diggers? Graph Diggers?
Yeah, Martin's gonna point at Graph Diggers.
Paul's like, rip.
Paul's like, where?
Paul scoops.
Yeah. Wasn't dead yet. I think, unless we had, Paul was a little lower. But
you had 10 power, right? And
Martin had exact damages, but Paul certainly forgot about the Graph Diggers cage.
Yeah.
That was played like 15 turns ago.
Yeah, no, Graph-Digger's Cage is a really good card, guys, especially against main board against Snapcaster decks. Yeah.
One thing that I think Paul should have done is main phase play the cast out.
Yeah, I think you should have done it on his turn, make the Thopters, then you just like
then you Supreme Verdict.
And then it's like, what
okay.
are you afraid of?
Right. Paul tried to get a little bit fancy, thought he could shut it all off, forgetting that Martin could sack a second artifact and
do things in response, yeah. Ah, man. So we'll put both players back up to 20. Martin Sheeler winning a 30-minute game 1.
Yeah. I think, Paul had just main phased that cast out.
Or if he just kept the Jace.
Kept the Jace, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, you're attacking for 1 with the Thopter with the sword on it. Just not great. Like,
you could have as many Thopters as you want, but, like, eventually, you know, Paul will draw to the ability to, like, Verdict and stuff. Post board, Martin's deck becomes this, like, nightmare, blue-black, like, just, I hate you so much control cards. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, so, like, Paul also is in an interesting dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously cards like Path to Exile and Supreme Verdict, not great here.
Supreme Verdict is, like, very okay. Because it's really good against Tezzeret -1.
Right. It's also fine against, you know, when situations like this get out of hand.
Yeah.
So you can't take out all of them.
Right.
But, you know, you certainly don't want to draw multiples.
Sure.
Because there's lots of nonsense you can leave to.
But as soon as the card I'm about to pull up hits the board, Paul's going to wish that he left all that spot removal in.
Yeah.
Padim! Every week, Martin plays Padim, and he plays it in multiples, and it's great every single time. You just go like, Howling Mine. Howling Mine. Hexproof Tezzeret artifacts. Like, how can you lose?
It's true.
You lose if Paul has a Crucible and you don't have CMC.
I mean, Martin also is going to get Crucibles.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is Crucible of Worlds probably in the sideboards for both decks?
Martin can find his Crucibles much easier, too.
Were for Crucible, start Ghost Quartering pretty good. Martin bringing in Defense Grid here, which is like, ish. I guess actually Defense Grid is good if they're trying to like Cryptic Tap and stuff. So it has other things than just counter and counter magic pretty well. Not bringing in the Thoughtseizes, I'm a little bit, maybe.
I think, yeah.
The games go grindy enough that Thoughtseize is like good, but like okay, take out an IOK, yeah, because IOK actually like
misses a lot of things.
Yeah, you want to be hitting like Cryptic. Cryptic is really the big one.
A lot of the Planeswalkers as well can be quite impactful. The
yeah, I mean, what if you like Thoughtseize it, Jason, and you can't take your Thopters down with it? Yeah. Wow. That was both players also. I do want to point this out. Both players were playing extremely quickly. Like, but you know, no one really was like waiting during their turn. They were sort of thinking about what they were going to do during their opponent's turn. They both realized that this matchup is going to be like this. It's going to go super grindy. And for those of us who do like to play slower decks, like this is an extremely important thing to be able to do. Is be able to play like really, really fast draw go. You just draw if you don't have actions. F6 go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Paul almost decked himself there. But even so, like with only 20 minutes left in the round, like.
It's I mean, this game still went super long, but can you imagine if they had like, played at like Brad Nelson or Jim Davis speed? Like, again, I mean, we would still be commentating.
Right.
So,
and based on the speed of their cuts and then
they are aware. Our cameras are not sped up at all. They're trying to play fast. Zoop. Martin's looking at a pretty good hand. Bridge, Tezzeret, Whir, a couple lands, Pentad, Prism. Seems great.
Yeah, Paul looks like he's got some lands.
Oh, Martin draws. Perfect. Martin, obviously, would like a Thoughtseize there. Is probably... But now, with Paul playing the Serum Visions...
Finds a Negate, which is excellent.
Negate's good, but now Martin can just, play the Pentad Prism, get some ramp going. Yeah, black, blue, 2 counters. If Paul doesn't... Paul will have Negate for the Tezzeret. Okay, so this plus on the Pentad Prism means that it can't, do damage this turn.
Correct.
But Martin, so here I play Tezzeret.
Does it prevent damage or does it just reduce damage? I think it's reduce, right? It's -3 or something?
No, it's prevent.
Oh, okay, sure.
Prevent all damage.
Which hilariously
is going to protect it from this Tezzeret.
Yeah.
But Martin has other Ooh, wow. Okay, so he's going to see Cryptic, negate, path, Serum Vision. So yeah, you don't run the Tezzeret out and minus on the thing, because then it gets pathed and your Tezzeret dies to the Gideon.
I think you
You
have
just
to
play like Spellskite here.
Yeah, and I think if you play a Spellskite, like if you want to hit with this is actually really interesting what you take. I think it has to be negate.
I think it's negate. It's your whole deck is non-creatures. It's so cost efficient. Like Cryptic Command is going to draw a card, sure, but Paul does have to tap 4 to do that.
Yeah, it does mean like your next spell is going to be countered from the Cryptic Command, but at least you're aware of it.
Yeah. Martin's selecting the negate.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think Paul's going to play face up. At least he's gesturing like he's going to.
I mean, in a situation where you're playing for speed, face up, I think is quite clearly the superior choice. Paul thinking about what he wants to do, because now you're in a position where if you plus on, he's just gonna 0 and hit.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so he does have path and Cryptic up though, so it's probably fine.
Right, like the other options are so mediocre. The plus does nothing.
Yeah.
The 0 like really does nothing.
Agreed.
And then Martin's Martin's gonna start baiting with a bunch of things.
Pithing Needle?
Yeah, Pithing Needle. Let's see if Paul wants to Cryptic this.
See, the thing is,
it's tempting.
You really want to Cryptic this because you know that your Gideon is how you're winning this game quickly. But then, so if Paul does Cryptic the Needle, Martin plays a Tezzeret
and just kills the Gideon.
And kills the Gideon, yeah. And but the thing is like Paul doesn't have any other choice, I think.
Right. Like if you allow this Gideon to be Needle, like you're just not doing anything for many turns.
Yeah, at least this way, you get to, like, you counter a spell, you draw a card. It's just like, it feels so bad because now here comes this, like, Planeswalker that's going to make an artifact of 5/5 and kill your Planeswalker. Zorch. Get off my board, says Martin.
Also, your removal is like, do you want to Path to Exile a Pentad Prism?
I mean,
like,
yes.
You're
it's
gonna have to
5/5.
Also, not guaranteed. No, like, you're going to Path a Spellskite first.
Yes, you are.
Like...
You are going to path the Spellskite.
Yeah, but Paul's certainly going to fire up the Serum Vision too. We saw him fetch for basic.
Yeah, I mean, Paul very, very good at playing Serum Vision decks. Always fetches first.
As one does. As one does. No, this does not look like
a second Gideon.
Second Gideon.
Gideon plus on the Pentad Prism. Okay.
Sure.
But Martin's going to redirect it.
Oh man, so that's so good.
Man, how do you deal with this? This Spellskite's actually so good.
The Spellskite's absurd. Paul almost certainly forgot about that interaction.
Yeah. Oh no! Paul, no! Why? What have you done?
No.
Oh, and I think our camera froze at this pivotal moment. Hold on. We're gonna kick it back up to us. Oh, please don't be out. Oh no. Not like this. Oh no, the cameras have gone out. Dan! Dan, save us!
I'm trying to fix it real quick.
Please! Oh no, this is not looking good for us though. Oh man, both cameras too, so I don't know what that is. Oh, wrecked so hard the camera broke down. That is correct, chat. We are diligently working on getting a fix here. Dan has, oh no, nothing is coming back up. Oh my god, no! God damn it. Of course this happens. Everybody picnic baskets in the... Whoa, now it's just like straight up like all red. Oh, back to... Okay. I have me back on the booth camera. Play camera is... Oh, we're back! We're alive! Martin has a Padeem play. He's hitting Paul for 10. Oh, God. What happened while we were gone, folks? Paul's going to take a hit, go to 8 at minimum.
Paul kept a Supreme Verdict on top.
Verdict is great.
Verdict's going to be great.
Boom! There goes the whole team. I mean, there's still a Tezzeret, though. Martin draws a Thoughtseize. Seems pretty good. Seize your thoughts. Shows him a Cryptic.
Well, the Cryptic's not a bad take here.
Yeah. Paul's other card is Path. Yeah. Paul does have Colonnades up. I guess Martin has at least a Ghost Quarter. Yeah. He's going to plus and go looking here. So, yeah, the thing is with this Ghost Quarter still up... Ooh, Martin's going to miss.
Oh, full miss. Wow, that's...
5 cards, no artifacts. Oh, he's going to Whirf or... Oh, no, he's going to play a Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, now Paul's, like, can't attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paul would need to draw, like, a Fragmentize or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's not a easy card to draw. I don't know if he even plays it. Defense Grid the draw for Martin.
Yeah, also not an unreasonable draw
Not
here.
horrible.
As soon as you do this, all of a sudden Paul's not really countering things very well.
Paul has 6. Paul can snap cryptic this. And will. Now, what is he going to do, though? Because he can bounce the bridge, counter this, and do what else? Bounce the Tezzeret? I don't hate that.
Oh, okay. Again, life totals may not be correct here because we did miss a portion of this match.
Yeah. Attack with Snapcaster. Martin will put him to 10 here.
All right. No, notably, Martin can't cast either of these
Click.
worlds.
Click. Click, 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 click. Ooh, this is
he-
Paul's. This is how Paul's going to win the game, I
He
think.
can with the Pentad Prism, though.
Huh?
Pentad Prism for 2, and then you can whirl for some amount.
Yeah, Martin needs to do that, though.
He'll need to do it before attacks. I kind of like that doing it there, because like if Paul like drew a Cryptic Command or something, like
Right.
this would be a savage blowout. So okay, there's 3
For 2? Yeah.
This seems like a Thopter, probably Foundry.
The click was draw step, I believe.
Yeah, that was a draw step click.
Because he immediately played the Pentad Prism in his main phase. Yeah, I don't know what Martin gets here, honestly. Like, Torpor Orb a little too late. Another, like, Pentad Prism obviously not good. Cage, Relic.
Did he board out Thopter Sword?
He does that, actually. He does do that. He turns into... I mean, I don't think it's, like... Yeah.
Huh.
Speaking of, he boards it out because people bring in, like, stuff for... Oh,
wow.
Oh, cast out. Let's go.
Oh, jeez. What was looking unlosable now looks... Yeah, we're approaching the category of unwinnable.
Yeah, you got to draw another bridge.
Yeah, he's gotta have to do this for another bridge.
I mean, this is fine, though.
Yeah, assuming there's a second bridge.
Bridge? Bridge? Okay. I was a little worried there, Dan. But Martin got hit to 5, correct?
Yeah, if life totals are correct.
Yeah, he's pretty low, to say the least. Tap land. Ashiok?
Oh, the negate!
The negate! Paul flips the negate. Oh, dude, Ashiok is a nightmare, though. She is a weaver of nightmares, to be more precise. Rev for 3, says Paul. He'll go up to 8. Or sorry, he'll go up from 8 to 11. He'll pass the turn. Martin, draw step. Just drawing off the top here. Martin's had pretty good luck so far. Let's see what he's got now.
I think that
Sends
might
the
be a
turn
brutality.
back. Okay, brutality's fine. You kill your click.
I mean, right now, like, we don't care about any of those things.
Right. But, I mean, you get to duress.
Yeah.
Spreading
Seas.
Seas.
Alright,
Martin's got enough black sources, though. There's no risk of him really being cut off. Paul will draw a card. Fumble it briefly. Look at things again. Ensnaring Bridge, just so good, Dan.
Yeah. We're gonna
Cycle and Irrigated Farmland.
Martin might now be low enough.
Yeah.
Martin might be low enough now that, like, if this bridge goes away, he dies.
I believe that's the case, but, like, how's the bridge going to go away?
This also means he might also be out of bridges.
Possible.
So it's in Collective Brutality, Duress, sort of, and kill the click.
Yeah. And we'll see what Paul does in response here. He'll cycle a Censor. Seems great. What do we got? He's going to path his own click in response.
Yep. Brutality will stop 2 targets, though, so...
Yeah, it's fine. I
yeah.
mean, he'll discard a path. He's got a Gideon Jura and a Tech Edge.
Yeah, so Brutality, it's not actually Duress, so it won't miss here.
Yeah, but he, no. Paul had a second path in hand.
Oh, right.
He just like sort of auto discarded it. Yeah. Collective Company, Collective Brutality, both very strong collective cards.
So this means that, like, Martin's options to win this game, he's actually kind of narrow here.
Paul's going to Tech Edge. Martin is going to Ghost Quarter or Colonnade in response. Yeah, I mean, Martin's options to win this game, I think, are like get a Tezzeret and ult it sort of thing.
Yeah, which is, I mean, like, it means he has to try to resolve a Tezzeret.
Paul's down to 1 card again, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not it's pretty reasonable. Like, this Gideon Juras doesn't do anything.
Yeah, this getting actually. Well, it means that he can't get like alpha randomly, but like
The Tezzeret's just going to be like, alt my Tezzeret.
yeah. Well, currently Martin only has 3 artifacts, which
Sure, but like, he's got enough time to do everything.
yes.
The fact that there's no Thopter Sword, though, is like, ugh.
Yeah, there's no Thopter Sword in this deck.
I mean, it does make him much better against Stony Silence. Flip a Spellbomb and pass.
I mean, if Grafdigger's cages weren't shut off already.
Yeah.
Alright, Paul's just trying to thin his deck. He must be looking. There's a D-Sphere in his deck.
Right.
D-Sphere is just game over. Mm-hmm. He now has enough mana to cast D-Sphere and make Colonnade and do all the things. Kept a card on top, which, I mean, there's only one
there's
card.
like, it's either, or it could be like he's keeping a Rev on top that'll let him dig another 8 cards deep sort of thing.
Rev is also a reasonable card to keep on top.
Click again.
Yeah, Paul's probably going to draw step.
Go. Draw a step. Draw the card, yeah. Draw a step, show him.
Oh, Martin drew a whirl, though.
Yeah. What do you roll for, or what do you whir for here? The thing is that the whir is so much worse without Thopter Sword.
Yes, because there's just
like,
there are no haymakers.
Right, like Tezzeret is now your haymaker.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Oh wait, Pithing Needle Colonnade, Pithing Needle Gideon.
I mean, but how are you winning this game? It has to be Tezzeret.
It has to be Tezzeret.
Or the Ashiok. Which,
sure, there's at least one more Ashiok. Yeah, I mean
the cost is so low that I'm surprised you don't at least keep it 1.
Yeah, just like 1/1.
Yeah.
I agree. Torpor Orb's going to be the get.
Paul's also going to look at the Thoughtseize and decide if he wants Martin to keep it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, and Paul's going to reveal the Cryptic Command that he kept on top, and then
that'll spark a concession.
Yep.
Because Martin is just going to get smacked for 1 billion damage, and we're going to go to game 3 with only 5 minutes left in the round.
4.
Yeah, taking lower now. But Blue Eye Control putting up a pretty good fight there. If I'm Martin, I seriously consider bringing the Thopter Sword back in. It's just so much advantage. It's so hard to beat. Like I don't even know if Paul, hopefully, I guess it, just like 1/1, right? You have 4 Whirs, you have 4 Tezzerets. Just, you can find it. You don't need to have, 3 of each sort of thing. Oof. Yeah, this matchup is... This is hard for Paul, but he can do it, as we saw.
Right.
Both players going to have to... Oh, my God. Martin has got, Seriously, if Martin draws lands, he just got, everything.
All right, well, he's going to lead off on Thoughtseize. You can see Path Cryptic, Rev, Snapcaster. Oh, this is an excellent hand that's 1 lander.
I mean, you take the...
You take the Serum Visions. I think it's not close.
Yeah, but Paul has so many lands. I feel like if you take the negate, he's not doing anything. This lets you get the Ashiok down, I think.
Oh sure, yeah, because Paul's land is Colonnade, yeah.
Yeah, so Martin draws the 3rd land like a champ. Painless double Darkslick opening, pretty good. Turn off the Snapcaster with my Cage. Okay. Say go. Paul's gonna play the CC. This is. There's obviously an argument for taking the Serum Vision, but Paul, he's got 3 lands in his hand. You just take the action because now this Ashiok's going to come down. How does Paul ever actually beat the Ashiok?
I don't think he does. Does Martin have the 3rd land? He does.
Yeah, no. He started with 2 lands in hand.
How do we ever beat this?
Spooked. Well, that's one way you could have beaten it, right? The D-Sphere. Paul would have had it on curve and everything.
The crazy thing is Martin can hit Snapcasters with this.
Oh yeah. No, it's great. It's super great.
All right. Draws a Pithing Needle as well. So if Paul, has any crazy,
just keep exiling things. Eventually, he's going to be able to get this. Eventually, the Ashiok's going to be behind a bridge, and Paul won't even be able to attack it.
Yeah,
Paul's just going to turn into ambush viper
just to keep this Ashiok down a little bit.
Right. It's already at 7. Oh, but he draws the cast out like a legend. And then attack you down to 18.
Mm-hmm. So, because they shuffle up immediately, Paul knows that there's no Thopter Sword in this deck right now.
Pentad Prism on 2. 1 mana Pithing Needle, presumably.
There's just nothing to name.
You name Colonnade.
Sure. I kind of like... Well, I guess you want to deploy your hand. Mm-hmm. But...
Martin will have a second bridge coming up, and he's already gotten the D-Sphere, right?
Yeah.
Second bridge really good against Cryptic.
There could be multiple. There could be multiple bridges though. Excuse me, multiple D-Spheres though.
Maybe. Another Pithing Needle, no idea what it's on, but now Martin's under the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's getting bounced. Paul does have a Cryptic in hand. We forgot about that part. Yeah. Paul trying to get there with this one lonely Snapcaster. Martin just like, cool, I'll replay my mono bridge hand. Still has 2 cards.
Paul,
Counter draw. Paul's getting there. The beats. The second bridge, though, from Martin, and Paul's just like, you have to be kidding me. I have to find another freaking out to your bridge.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
I mean, Paul does have a Sphinx's Wrap, so he can reload. I think there's a rest in
That's
peace.
a rest in peace. It's like I think Paul didn't deboard expecting Thopter Sword either. That does shut it off. He'll go for it here, though. I mean, Grafdigger's Cage already means that, like, he's not...
None of those shenanigans are happening anyways.
Mm-mm.
There's no way this resolves, right?
It resolves!
Oh, wow.
Oh, no! Oh,
Martin whiffs again.
it's fine. You don't care. Paul's going to draw off a farmland, take a draw for turn, play a land, just like, how do you beat the Tezzeret? Martin can just keep playing artifacts.
The relic, not great here.
Martin counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, not quite enough. So we're just gonna dig again.
I mean, it's almost enough. If he keeps hitting artifacts, it's great.
Spell arm seems fine.
8.
All right. Don't forget Paul can rev, right? So he's gonna rev for looks like 4 here.
Sure, he's up to 24. Still though, like,
Now must have an answer, right?
you gotta have a Cryptic to bounce it or something. If you don't,
Or D-Sphere or another cast out. Sandwiches gonna try looking for more. Keeps one on top, so presumably it's not now gonna have an answer. This actually incentivizes Martin to ult it now because Paul almost certainly has an answer. Gonna tech edge, yeah, one of the
Sure.
lands, whatever.
yeah, Martin putting the Ashiok Exile cards back into the General Exile. That is the turn die right there. But yeah, I think if you ult here, you -4, you go to 1, you do a bunch of damage, but it's not a lot. It's not enough.
Yeah, this is not enough.
So it's 1, 2, 3.
This is 16.
16? Okay, so Martin will go to 30.
Oh, no, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
this
16.
is 16.
Martin will go to 8. Or, sorry, Paul will go to 8. Martin will go to 30.
Yeah, which means that Martin can't lose this game.
Right, but I don't think he can win it either.
Uh,
You know, he's...
He's gonna try another Tezzeret.
Oh, wait. No, that one should have 4 counters on it, right?
Yeah. Presumably they,
Wait, he just ults it. He just ults it again. Wait, what's up with Martin's Tezzerets? That one should have 4 counters on it from him plussing it. What's going on?
Did he keep the round 1?
Please.
Wait, is that...
Is that what happened?
Did he keep the round 1?
Martin also can't get tech edged right now.
Yeah.
He only has 3. If he kept the wrong one, are they going to realize it now? They're going to realize, like, hey, my Tezzeret should be on 4? This should be a game-winning play for Martin. But the Tezzeret's on 1. What? What?
Oh, he kept the round 1?
No!
He kept the round 1!
Oh, wait, there was a mana leak. Chat's saying there was a mana
Oh,
leak.
okay. Sure. Okay.
We got it wrong. We're bad at Magic. I literally didn't see Paul play the mana leak because I was too busy looking at the Tezzeret in Martin's.
Right.
coming out
Okay.
of Martin's
So,
hand.
I mean...
That's it. This is turn 4.
Yeah, there's no way Paul can do 30 here.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, that makes much more sense.
Are we going to have a concession? No, it doesn't look like we are.
He's
Okay.
going to go for the draw there. And that's going to do it. A draw between Blue Eye Control and Tezzerator. Can't say I'm surprised. But honestly, like, a lot of good back and forth both matches. You know, this wasn't a snooze fest.
Right. I mean, a lot of interesting plays as well. Just it ran slightly out of time here.
Right. Yeah, so, wow, that was pretty crazy. So, throwing it back up to the booth here, we are going to link a page in the chat here. So, we had an article posted to our site recently called Magic Puzzler 1, How Big Is It? This is a start of a series. and we are going to be announcing the answers to the questions and the winner of this first week's puzzler for $10 in store credit.
Yeah. So this is a new weekly thing that MTGCardMarket is doing on the website. You're gonna there's a series of questions. You're gonna email in your answers to the website to the email provided, and then on camera here we're gonna announce not only the answers but who won the $10 gift card for this week's puzzle. So we'll link it in chat right now so you guys can take a look and see what the questions are, and we'll announce the answers probably between rounds next. Between rounds 3 and 4.
But we'll read the questions now since they're kind of tricky and you can definitely think about them. Again, we do already have someone who did win this week, but this will be an event that keeps going week after week. So the question is, how big is it? And the first question, how big is Pelucranos? You know, the 5/5 for 4. If you spend 7 mana to monstrous it, targeting a Hand of the Praetor and a Rotwolf. I don't know what either of those things are. Other creatures you control with Infect get +1/+1. Whenever, okay, and then the Rotwolf. Sure. Okay.
So, bit of a question dealing with how Infect works in terms of damage and how layers it works. But yeah, the questions some of the questions are fairly lengthy, so we'll leave it to you guys to read the questions on the website.
That is that's the first question. These are. There are quite a few cards here that I actually have no idea what they do.
Right. Also, we've got 2 more rounds here tonight. If there are any requests for what you'd like to see, please let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that round, again, so we talked about it a little bit after the first game, but both players were just trying so hard to play so fast, and it ultimately just didn't matter.
Well, one thing is that the damage was kind of done by how long round 1 took, right?
The first game, you mean?
Yeah.
The 30-minute first game, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that sometimes happens in a tournament where it's like, you know, you look at the clock and there's like 20 minutes left. Doesn't matter how fast you play, it's not going to be quite good enough.
Okay, we do have pairings for the third round, though. Beautiful. Sure. Yeah, we don't want to see this a third time, I think. Let's get that one, okay. And then, have the others as possibilities. Hodge Gulashi, I don't know if there are any humans builds. Wait, Sean, are you still playing Aristocrats or no?
No, I'm playing Expert Guys, and I'm also 0-2, so.
Okay. All right, so we had someone in the back here who at one point was playing like a Mardu sort of humans Aristocrats build, but he's no longer playing that, and as you may have heard, he's also 1-2, so, or wait. How is he 1-2? There's only been 2 rounds so far. Unclear. Regardless, I'm going to do some resetting of the overlays here because we left him in a hurry. But yeah, you know, the beauty of having a really long match on camera is that we immediately get to watch more Magic the Gathering. So that is exciting. Yeah. This is good. Get the decks here. So on the left, looks like we are going to have Ken Ropiak. And on the right, we are going to have Andy Bear. Okay. And do we know what either Ken or Andy are playing, Dan?
I think Ken is playing a deck with Island in it.
Okay, that was super helpful. You should definitely consider a job as a professional helper.
Which actually is, you know, a change from what Ken is normally on, right?
Ken's normally on, like, Adnaz or Titan Shift or something.
Right.
Andy, I believe, is on Affinity because I saw a gear per Aether Grid in his sideboard.
Oh, okay. Well, that should be an interesting matchup. There's actually a lot more Affinity now than...
There's like 2 or 3 in the room tonight,
which is about 2 or 3 more than it normally is.
Right? Yeah. No. The player we saw round 1, Jay Koenig, is visiting friends in town, and then just Affinity being in the shop generally is pretty rare. Which like bring your Stony Silences, guys. Always bring them, even if you know you're not going to play Affinity. You could play there is a really good reason to have Stony Silences in this shop, and that's because Martin exists.
Right. Stony Silence very good against Tezzeret.
Although, so one of the things about Martin's like sort of radical board out the whole combo plan is it does make him much less Stony Silence vulnerable.
Sure. A lot of the artifacts just have static effects.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Stony Silence not the greatest against like Graphthinker's Cage.
Sure. Yeah, that's very, very true.
Alright, but we're gonna shuffle up here. I don't believe they rolled dice, so.
Yeah, we haven't seen him roll dice yet. Oh no, they did roll dice. One of them, there was a 9, and then I didn't see the other one. I was distracted. All right. Yeah. All right, so should be getting underway shortly here. Both players going to draw 7, and okay, so yeah, definitely affinity.
Yeah.
Is Ken playing Jeskai Control?
Oh, he might be.
My stars! I thought I'd never see the day.
He might be picking up Vincent's mantle while he's gone for the week.
Oh no, Vincent! No, not Jeskai. Vincent. Jeskai Control. Vincent, if you're watching, this is. Oh God.
This is a very
Andy's
good
gonna
start
start
for
on pretty large amounts of permanence. Ken's just gonna be like, whatever, dude. I'm Jeskai deck. And here, I think you almost certainly play the Colonnade.
I think he wants to leave up Bolt because he's Helix as well.
Yeah, but he can't play. He only has 2 lands, and one of them's tapped. This will be an attack for one. He'll go to 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's shoot our buddy Vincent a message here.
Yeah, so Andy's going around the Overseer, and
This just gets bolted on site.
right. Yeah, if it doesn't get bolted, that Andy just promptly wins the game. One time stubborn now?
Dude,
It seems unlikely though.
dude, don't say things like that, okay? Us Jeskai players have it hard as it is. Now, if Ken kills the Signal Pest, Andy's board does very little.
Yeah, Andy has.
Oh, he draws the untapped land like an animal.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good draw.
Well, so one thing that's interesting is Ken's playing this build with Serum Visions.
Right. Yeah, that's not normal.
That's not typical for just.
It could be he could be playing the super streamlined list from the latest GP with like 4 of everything. You know,
That's fair.
until we see differently, we can think that. But yeah, so here you kill the Signal Pest before they attack. Kill it, or just take the damage, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like Ken's okay taking the damage. I mean, it's not all that much. I'm actually a little more concerned about the Infect because
there's a second Ink Moth.
the second Ink Moth here is the
but
Overseer.
the waiting. The waiting will pay off here.
Right, because that is the last piece of removal. You're not going to take that much.
He also has a path.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so, I mean, based on the context of this board, Ken's most likely path to, like, losing is actually from Infect.
Right.
And just because Andy has double Ink Moth, getting into a turn is probably going to be enough. Now, Ken, on the other hand, if he has an Electrolyze.
Yeah. If this is the 4x Electrolyze build, then you're set. Draws another Cryptic, though, has a path up.
I might have wanted to run the Serum Visions out before.
See if you can draw untap land.
Yeah, see if you can draw untap land. Although, I guess there's nothing.
Looks like he's going to double top. I would be... Okay, he has the 4th land. That's the thing that I would be the most concerned about. So once you have the 4th land, you're set. Blink Moth here. Wow, so the moths, they are active.
Right, so if Ken doesn't have anything, he's taking 5 Infect here.
Is the Blink Moth just, like, pump for free?
It looks like, is Ken going to stop him before he goes to the attacks?
No, he's just going to pass the Ink Moth.
Okay. So you're going to take another 2 and 2 Infect. Okay,
so he'll go to 13... He'll take 2 Infect. I honestly, though, in Ken's position, he has a Snapcaster and stuff. I think he's in a pretty okay spot.
The thing is, like, if you kill a Signal Pest, it's the same amount of damage you're removing.
Yeah. Spreading Seas. So this is not a... Well, this Spreading Seas turns off an Ink Moth, though.
It does. It certainly does.
And then you just don't care about this regular damage. You have a Snap Helix for the Pest.
Right.
I think you not close. Don't hold up Cryptic. You just Spreading Seas. I don't know if I like this.
No, I think I like this much more. You're not going to take anything that's absurd here. You're a very comfortable life total. If Andy ends up playing like something crazy. Now that everything is animated.
Tap it. Yep.
Alright, tap it. That's going to save him 5 points of life plus 2 infect.
Right. Vault
And
Scourge
he's going
from
to play
Andy.
Vault Scourge.
Now, Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict, you just instantly win the game, right?
Yeah. Draws a 5th land, though, so...
Well, the 5th land's important because that means you can
Yeah.
Spreading Seas and a Snap.
And Snap Bolt.
Yeah, Snap Bolt or Snap Path.
I do like Spreading Seas and Inkmoth here, and then maybe Snap Bolt the Signal Pest next turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, I'm
It's
not
just more
afraid.
mana efficient. You're
Right.
going to have the Spreading Seas eventually anyways. But the question of what to Spreading Seas is actually kind of interesting.
Like Blinkmoth or Inkmoth.
Right. I mean, at this point...
I think you're not as afraid. I think you're a little bit more afraid of the Infect, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, obviously an insane draw here would be Cranial Plating. Ken doesn't have Counter Magic up.
Right. If Andy's going to go to attacks, Ken might be priced into Snap Bolting now.
Right. Yeah, because you do take 4.
Mm-hmm.
6 with the Blinkmoth attack.
Right.
This is the 3rd round.
So Andy's actually not going to animate the Inkmoth.
The Blinkmoth.
The Blinkmoth, excuse me. Which means that he has something to play on 3 because he has 4 mana available. So the power hitters on 3. Massive Ethereum probably was seen in pre-combat.
He doesn't play anything, though. I think he passed the turn. He's got a Galv Blast. Okay.
Okay. Galv Blast also makes sense.
This is where it starts getting real dicey with your life total.
Right.
You
so
gotta-
Ken didn't Snap Bolt there because he was holding up Snap Helix.
Yeah.
But the problem is he took an extra 3 damage because he did that.
Right. So now he has a Path, a Remand, a Snapcaster. Remand not great. Andy has double red. He can't get hit here. He needs to like Snap Helix or just Cryptic stuff. He'll go to 7. Or he can like Snap Cryptic.
I'm a little less excited by Snap Cryptic just because like there's so many dead draws.
Yeah, I think that here, Basic Mountain, not a common fetch.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe you Snap Helix. Oh no, he's just gonna Natural Cryptic. Okay, tap
So
draw.
Cryptic. Tap.
I don't know. I'm a little bit wary.
Are
of
we
this.
sure that it's a Snapcaster in hand?
Yeah, it is. I'm 100%. And now Andy will animate the Blinkmoth after the Cryptic and get in for 1. So Ken will go to 6. Ken 2 away from dying here.
Also, Ken choosing not to.
I really like the path there.
And he does draw another Inkmoth though, so.
That's back online. Galv Blast you, Andy says. Remand says Ken. Yeah, this is actually like, pretty efficient for him.
And he finds the second red source.
That's
and
fine.
now we're in like really dicey situation because Blinkmoth is almost lethal on itself. If Signal plus past attacks, pretty much everything is lethal.
Right. Another Snapcaster is the draw here. I think you have to Snap Helix onto the Signal Pest and then have Snap Path for the Blinkmoth and start fighting your way out like that.
Right.
You have the mana to do both. You have 2 Snapcasters and a Path in hand, so like you can go Snap Helix to gain some life, and then Snapcaster something else in your graveyard, and then you don't have the mana to do it all, but then you also have a Path.
Well, you know what you have the mana to do?
Huh.
You have the mana to Snap Bolt,
Yeah.
Path, Snap, Path.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you can
that's
remove
true.
3 of these things.
Right, but I like gaining life here.
Yeah, I think gaining life is just going to be a little more valuable. Also, like, once you get rid of the Signal Pest, these Ornithopters literally do nothing.
Right. Yeah, they're completely useless.
Now, Ken is going for the Cryptic.
If he's not drawing to Verdict, I don't know what he's doing.
Right, like, this is... I don't understand this.
I don't either. I think you have to start killing things.
Yeah, like, we're drawing a lot of cards, but this isn't doing anything.
No, you have to Path the Blinkmoth here.
Yeah.
Just like the first Snapcaster going for...
Even the first one going for Snap Cryptic was maybe a little bit too...
It's just
aggressive.
greedy.
Yeah.
Another Vault Scourge here from Andy. He'll pay the full amount for it. Like, you just don't... There's too many things to remove and you don't have any, like...
At this point, now you might be priced into trying to find a Supreme Verdict.
I think here what you do is you Snap Helix and then you also click him on draw step. You Snap Helix the Signal Pest, click him on draw step, trade the click for one of the Vault Scourges.
Sure.
Like, the Ornithopters don't do anything, and then you just have to find, like, one more piece of removal in, like, 5 turns for the other Vault Scourge. Like, I don't know, man.
The fact that this is like turn 10 and the Signal Pest is still alive is shocking to me.
Yeah, I think it should have died a long time ago.
I mean, the Signal Pest alone has contributed maybe upwards of 6-7 damage.
Agreed. It's so dangerous on this board.
When Ken has had removal for it almost the entire time.
I agree. Here we're going to see a Snapcaster Mage. I assume targeting.
Oh my god, he is pulling another Cryptic.
There's no way that's right.
I mean, Ken might feel that he's priced into trying to find a verdict now, though.
Yeah, but if you kill the Signal... But, like, think about the line that I just brought up, right?
Yeah, if you
kill the Signal Pest, then you kill the... Then you trade your click for a Vault Scourge. Like, what are they actually... Like, this board doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like...
Ken natural draws a Bolt. Okay, kill the Signal Pest. You can trade your... You can block with Colonnade now.
Yeah.
Kill the Signal Pest.
I mean, turn your Snapcaster sideways, right? They're not blocking anything.
Also kill the Signal Pest, though.
Yes. Importantly, kill the Signal Pest. But, like, you had the answers in hand, and instead of, like, deploying it, you...
Just...
You
The fact
for
that
a
he
random
natural
draw in
drew
your
Bolt
deck.
here is so lucky.
You went for a random draw in your deck when you already had what you wanted to draw into.
Yeah, you had it sitting in your graveyard. Bolt it. Bolt it.
I'm a little confused by the line.
Sorry, guys. I'm a little agitated because I play a lot of Blue-Eye Red, and this is... I think this is not right. Dan played Blue-Eye Red, too.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused by the line that Ken
Just
is
like,
choosing.
it's not like you had, like, a Delver...
And Ken is going to concede here. I don't think like you were stone dead.
He wasn't. He could have blocked with the click. He had like, okay, not only like literally even there he's not dead. He could have blocked with the click. You bolt the Signal Pest. Like, yeah, you still take one from the vault. No, you have a Colonnade though, so the next turn you're okay. You don't care about any more of their attackers.
There's a small chance that Ken might have been a 1, but even then, like I'm just very confused by the line that
the
Ken
line
chose.
leading to that was like not great.
But even if Ken was at 1, like you can bolt the Signal Pest, click yourself, and try to draw into another path or bolt, right?
Yeah.
So like was not dead by any line there.
But also just like using the Snapcasters on the Cryptic commands, like yeah, you get to draw more cards, but like why would you not just kill things with your Snapcasters?
The card you're trying to draw into is already in your graveyard.
Right.
Like why do Snap Cryptic to like draw a random card when you can just like snap Bolt? Because you're trying to draw to a Bolt.
Shockingly, that appears to be some pretty solid logic there, Dan.
I'm just a little bit confused by the line that was taken.
So am I. Yeah, so... Well, that'll do it for...
Well, that'll do it for game 1 here.
Post-sideboard, Ken gets much better.
I don't know. I think game 1 is excellent.
Look, as someone who has played a lot of Jeskai, this matchup generally feels extremely winnable.
Right.
Like, and you're one of the few decks, I think, in the entire format that can say that. But you have Bolt, you have Path, you have Snapcaster, you have Helix, which is super clutch at pulling you out. Like, if you go Helix and then later you snap a Helix, it undoes so much work that the Affinity players tried to do. You know, you have Supreme Verdict as an out to Etched, you have Counter Magic, like, you have everything. You have, like, literally the Affinity killer of a deck. Sure, there are times when...
And sometimes you have the nuts in Electrolyze.
Yeah.
Like, if you Electrolyze your Affinity opponent, they're very set.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? You also have, like... You know, you have so much removal, and you have so, like, you just have ways to deal with their stuff. Like, your deck is set up to beat small creature decks. Affinity will have busted starts where you don't have enough removal, or, like, they do something when you only have one land in play where, like, they, you know, get an Overseer down, you can't kill it or whatever, and, like, yeah, you lose to that draw. But, like, the vast majority of the time, you get to about between, like, 7 and 10 life, you kill everything they own that's relevant, and then you just, like, slowly hit them with a big dorky 4/4 flyer elemental.
Right.
Like, it's not... this matchup is great. It's honestly one of the best matchups for Jeskai in the format, frankly. Like, you play Affinity and you're like, wow, this is great. Because you're not good against a lot of other stuff, so, like, what are you good against? Oh, man.
Yeah, just perhaps a threat and like evaluating what it was important that matchup may have
Yeah, that
been a little bit
signal
off
pest, dude. When I see signal pest on like a double ornithopter board,
It's gotta die.
I like police. Yes, I need this out of here. Okay, Ken's hand is super good. Bolt, Path, Helix, Serum Visions,
This
Cryptic.
is a treat. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gonna start with the Serum Visions. I love it. You're on the play. It's perfect. All right, just kill everything. Oh man, just like hella. I mean, just like whoa, he gets basic island. And okay, that to me is.
Well,
Like,
so,
I get you want to save your life total, but, like, you have Sacred Foundry in your hand and a Lightning Helix. Like, bruh. Okay, he drew a Flooded Strand because he's a god, but you know what I'm saying?
well, he has Sacred Foundry and Flooded Strand already.
Oh, he had another fetch. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I already had
Okay,
all
we're
the-
fine, we're fine. I really do like establishing those colors early. For Helix especially. Ooh, draws a mana leak though, and that's very good. Like, this is where you want to be, because, you know, if Andy goes to, like, play a cranial plating, you're just like, bleh, get wrecked.
Yeah, and he's also
Goes
like,
double etched. This is how you beat double etched.
right. So this Springleaf Drum is gonna turn on the Opal, and now Andy's probably gonna go for
Either a plating or an etched.
the Etched
Etched,
Champion.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Ken you have to mana leak here.
Well, yeah, that's just not close. The mana leak is not.
So
close
the problem that I'm seeing for Ken is that he's gonna be in a position where Andy has a. Wow. All right.
Well, don't forget, Ken has 3 more lands in hand. So.
yeah,
he can
but
be
I
a
think
little
he
bit-
might have a cryptic.
Oh well.
If he has a cryptic, I really don't like this fetch choice.
Right, especially because you have a Sacred Foundry in hand already.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. A Sacred Foundry is like the worst land in your deck for casting cryptic.
It doesn't look like he has a Cryptic though.
Oh, is it not his last? Okay, you're right. That's not true.
Okay, so Ken's gonna play the tap Sacred Foundry.
Yeah, you're still fine. I think the problem is now you're out of counter magic.
Right.
And as soon as a
See, like, you can't waste a bolt on this
Ornithopter?
You can kind of crimp Andy on mana, but if Andy just has a 3rd land, then like that does nothing.
right,
And you kind of want to save.
yeah, and Andy does have the 3rd line, and the problem here is once the champion resolves, you have to race it, and I don't think you can race it. You have 6 points of burn.
I think his hand is double path right now,
It's double path, bolt, helix, flooded strand.
which is good against everything but this.
Yeah, this is so good. And Andy will have a plating coming, and like champion with a plating is like.
Oh, that's just GG.
Wait,
It is
Andy
not-
can just play the plating now.
Yeah. Ken didn't appear to
Didn't have counter magic this time. Just I would slam that plating, right? Maybe not.
maybe playing around Censure, but
Sure. Okay, so this is
so now we're max punished for getting Mountain.
why I was like pretty frustrated with the mountain. Like
Yeah.
it might not have seemed like, it might have been a little harsh at the time, but just like you can't cast this.
Yeah, like if you kept in Cryptic commands,
Yeah.
which like it's not unreasonable to board them out.
You keep them in because they counter edge champions off the top of the late game.
Right.
Or they fog them or something.
It's just like your mana is so incredibly awkward right now.
Yeah.
Also, you have so much removal in hand. Like, why not just bolt the Ink Moth? Blink.
The Blink Moth? I think you have to kill the Blink Moth here. Right? Like the rest of your hand doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And now this plating is gonna come down and you're just dead? How
Uh,
many artifacts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus base. So yeah, this champion's gonna be like a 2-turner.
and he really slow playing this. Not
Slow rolling.
No, slow rolling is very different.
I don't think he's delayed this plating coming down for a while.
Yeah. Well, slow rolling has a very different meaning than slow.
But so does slow playing though.
Uh,
He has taken some, like, him choosing to not play the plating is different than him slow playing, because slow playing implies he's taking way too long on his turn. Or
no,
whatever.
the second definition of slow playing.
Ken draws another cryptic. Oh, this hurts.
This is max punished. This is absolutely max punished here.
You have to get either with the first fetch,
Yeah. So now Andy can pay for. I think one thing Andy might have been
Pay
concerned
for
about.
leak.
Yeah, snap leak.
and you. Yeah. Oh man, if Ken had another blue source, he wouldn't have cast Serum Visions, which just held up cryptic. Etch Champion is a little bit slow, but not anymore.
Not anymore. Andy can also animate both these blink moths if he wants to.
Oh, God.
We're gonna play a spring leaf. That's fine too. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artifacts on the battlefield, plus base 2. So this is an 8/2. Andy can make it a 9/2 if he wants to, but there's not much reason to that. He is gonna make it a 9/2.
Before damage, I would like Helix the Blink Moth. No, don't Helix Face. Oh, okay, I guess we're gonna Helix Face. 17. Ken would go to 5, but is up to 8 now. Draw stuff from Ken. Now he has Cryptic.
Alright, so now we're priced into the tap.
Right, but like, what are you tapping to? I guess you do go face with this. Actually, that's a. I actually do.
Well,
like
the problem
that.
with now tapping is that you're still gonna take 2 damage.
Right.
Oh no, you're gonna take more than 2 damage. Andy can float mana from the Springleaf Drums.
Yeah.
Animate a Blink Moth, and then has double black to equip.
Oh, does he have instant speed equip?
Yeah, he has double black.
Oh no.
The problem is like Ken has a million removal spells with his Ink Moth.
Sure.
Now, did Andy remember to float double black for this?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Okay, this is just gonna die though. Ken has the.
Oh, Ken has so much removal for this. And the problem is like we are still just fogging until we can find.
It's Supreme Verdict or nothing.
Yeah. Supreme Verdict might not be good like going forward too because the cranial plating. Right, if you Supreme Verdict, you'd lose the game.
I mean, you have to have another removal spell up. He has 5 mana, so. Oh, you know what? Speaking of lands, Ken can't cast Supreme Verdict right now.
Oh, it doesn't have the double white.
This is
the get island, get mountain.
This is the punish. This is what happens. Wait, he killed the one with the plating on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and then Andy moved it over. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like
Okay.
Oh,
After post combat.
Andy thought I think Andy thought it was a path because he started looking through his deck.
But it was a bolt.
It was a bolt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an attack for 8.
I mean, it's already post. It's like that was second main phase.
No. Andy tapped Mox Opal and Glimmer Void to move at instant speed.
Oh wait, so why isn't Ken just dead?
Ken, we must have the life
I think
totals
we might
wrong.
have the life totals wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. At best, Ken is extremely low. But yeah, this is like you're in a really rough shape now because there's so many like incidental artifacts in play.
Yeah, the champion is just so big.
Yeah, and we have so many colored sources too.
This you can finally get your second white with this fetch if you really want to. I don't know. Actually, do you mind checking on life totals just because it does matter? All right, yeah. So Ken will have to. Oh, so he gets another island, and then we'll have to fog again. This again doesn't leave him out against Verdict, but if his life total is super low, I can see why he's doing this. But yeah, so this is a tap. Oh wait, I think Andy's. Okay, something happened. I believe Andy somehow convinced Ken that he had lethal, but that's gonna do it. Affinity getting it 2-0 over Jeskai Control. That's rough. Edge Champion, obviously, a beating against control decks. But not being able to cast Cryptic when Andy was, like, went to resolve the plating and stuff was just such a backbreaker. Ken showing the Stonies, which obviously would have been very good. But, yeah, just a hard match overall. You know, if you, like, especially, you just, like, more than one Edge Champion is just so hard to beat. And, like, Edge Champion on its own, actually, is, like, sometimes you can beat it because you just go, like, you can race it because it's a 2/2, but as soon as there's a Ravager or a plating and the Edge Champion gets huge, you just can't. You have to draw Verdict or lose. And you know, Ken, I don't know, he didn't really give himself a lot of outs to he didn't give himself a lot of outs to the to draw Verdict, right? Because if he needed to have double white in play, he needed, you know, more blue sources in play. Yeah, so Dan's going to try to find us another match. We see Andy's board, Grafdigger's Cage, very good against Snapcasters. Spell Pierce, extremely good against Cryptic Command. just generally when your opponent's casting Cryptic and they're like, on 4 lands, they're like, oh god, I have to cast this Cryptic or die. Then you Spell Pierce it, you win the game on the spot. Gear per Aether Grid lets you be very, very grindy. We see some Thought Seizes. Doesn't look like Andy boarded in all of those, but Thoughtseize can be very good at checking for, counter magic before you resolve a critical spell. Do we have another match coming?
No, it looks like everyone's between matches, so we're gonna wait a couple minutes. But looking out in the field, there's like 5 or 6 Affinity plays.
Oh, really?
It's kind of absurd.
So for the past, 3 or 4 weeks when I've, or even longer than that, when I would say, hey, if you play Affinity, you should come here and just shark people, they all showed up this week.
Including someone with Lodestone Golem in play.
No way.
Yeah.
What lands? Normal Affinity lands?
No, Affinity had Signopez and everything. Also Lodestone Golem.
Are you sure that wasn't the Vidalkin mono blue aggro deck?
No, this looked like stock Affinity with Lodestone Golems.
That seems amazing. Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's Lodestone Golem, a very annoying card. Obviously much better when you can turn 1 it. You can in Vintage.
Turn 1 Lodestone is a little backbreaking, especially when your opponents on, all of a sudden their Ancestrals and Time Walks and stuff cost 1 more.
And they're Moxes too, right?
No, it's non-artifacts.
Oh, it's not an artifact.
Right.
Oh, you're right.
So we'll check back outside in about 2. Actually, I'm gonna step outside right now and see if we can find.
Just take a look. Yeah. Someone should have finished the match by now. And if not, if we get another match, we get another match. If not, we will give the answers to the puzzle from this week. This puzzler called How Big Is It? I've just put the link in the chat here. This is a series that MTGCardMarket is starting, wherein there will be a puzzle with questions, and then you will, you will send your answers to the puzzle in to MTGCardMarket on social media or by email, and then one person will be raffled off if you did win, and you will win $10 in store credits. So we will be giving out the answers to the first week of the puzzle and announcing the winner tonight. And looking at the chat here, hello Bobcat7080, and Capital Cunt S, does Unlicensed Disintegration have a home anywhere in Modern? So let's pull up Unlicensed Disintegration.
Thanks for catching me.
Yeah. So, Unlicensed Disintegration, 1 black-red, destroy target creature if you control an artifact. Disintegration deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. So the thing is that you have to think about what other 3-mana kill spells sort of see play in Modern. And this would sort of have to be better than those. And the only the 3-mana removal spells that I can think of are Maelstrom Pulse, which is extremely versatile and also has random upside of kill all these tokens or something. And I just don't know if Disintegration does enough. The 3 damage doesn't matter all that much. Most of the time you're happy with playing Fatal Push or Abrupt Decay or Terminate even. I think the biggest problem is that Terminate costs 2 and this costs 3. Dan, do we have a match?
We do have a match. We're going to be
yes.
watching Michael play against Eric. This is going to be game 3 here.
Okay, so game 3.
Michael will be on the left here.
Okay. Let me get a look at which one? Okay, so Michael Creaser. I am truly lost on the pronunciation of the last name.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the right, we're gonna have Eric McClure. All right, and do we know what they're playing?
No idea here. So
Okay.
Should be exciting.
That is exciting. Both these players 1-1 tonight, so we will see. We will see as it goes.
Yes, we will. All right.
Okay.
This may be another one of our Infinity players.
He's got a welding jar. On the right here, we have Voice of Resurgence in multiples and Birds of Paradise.
Okay, so should be a match. Voice of Resurgence obviously not great in this matchup, but still a fine body.
Yeah, it looks like there's also a Loxodon Smiter in there, right here.
Uh-huh.
So we could be looking at a Little Kid Abzan list.
Sure. Just missing a Wiltleaf Leech, but we do have turn 1 birds, I believe.
Wiltleaf Leech is great. How can you lose?
And when it's double Anthem to your board.
Yeah.
It's how do you lose?
Like, voice isn't, like, optimal, but 4/4 voices are okay.
Okay, that can't be affinity though. That's a temple garden.
Right, so what's going on?
That can't. Yeah, that just can't be affinity.
It has a welding jar. Of course it's affinity.
I'm so confused.
So am I. This looks like... I'm gonna put this as, like, green, white creatures. Until we see something else, I'm gonna leave it on that.
I mean, Loxodon Smiter is almost indicative of. Is almost always indicative of a collected company.
Yeah. Although Little Kid Abzan doesn't actually play Collected Company, and they do play Loxodon Smiter.
Sure, that
Mostly you can't Coco into Liege.
Yeah, but like all the other hits are pretty good. Alright, Eric must have been land light on that hand.
Yeah, this one also gonna go back. Although he did have like a Razor Verge Thicket Birds, right?
Yeah, which I think is defensible, especially since you know what Michael's on. Now, if Michael is playing against Jeskai or something, like that's like completely unkeepable. Mm-hmm. Or I mean, Voice is very good against Jeskai.
Voice is insane against Jeskai. Mm-hmm. Like so the worst thing that happens is it gets pathed on their main phase, and you're like, great, let me go resolve this other spell that you care about.
Exactly. But like even then, that's not the worst trade, right? Like, you're still gonna be up in card advantage. You're actually playing a deck that can utilize the extra mana.
Oh no, it's fine. It's really annoying if you're the Jeskai player. Okay,
that's a walking ballista.
Where?
In Michael's hand.
Oh, in Michael's hand. What's going on? So is he on like counter? Wait, why is there a welding jar? Are we sure it's a welding jar? It's a welding jar.
That's a welding jar. That's an ornithopter.
What's happening?
But that's also a temple garden.
I need an adult. What's going on? Pass back from Eric. Michael to draw. That's an overseer.
This does not look like a fin.
That's a dark steel.
This looks like a fin.
Dan, what's happening?
Well, it seems to me that Eric is going to be in rough shape if he doesn't have a Path to Exile in hand.
Okay. Yes, that is indeed the case. It looks like he's fetching tap though.
Oh, and to explain what happened out
there.
Yeah, out there. I came up to National what life totals were, and they hesitantly said that asked if we if they had missed 2 points on Edge Champion, like the base damage, and that perfectly fit with what we had. So
okay.
Yeah.
So he was dead.
Yeah, so they were dead.
Okay, so draw is a Siege Rhino.
Okay, so this does look like Abzan. Do we have removal for this? Because if we don't,
I mean, that's not gonna do it. There's a welding jar.
So cards that Eric can have, Creeping Corrosion.
Sure.
Which sadly does not have the cannot be regenerate clause that Shatterstorm does.
True that though.
Which means that when this Walking Ballista gets played, and then gets counters put on it.
No way. Yo, I bet. Okay, I would be willing to bet some amount of money that Michael has.
I know what this is. This is Hardened Scales.
Yes.
This is Hardened Scales.
Yes, this is. I believe he has Hardened Scales in his deck. For those of you who don't know Hardened Scales, we'll be with you in just a moment on that. I can't type though. It'll be more than just a moment. We go back over to Eric. He plays a third land. Notably, he's at 19 from fetching. He'll attack with the Pride Mage. Let's go. In there.
I mean, you might as well get the attacks in, right? Because this is not really blocking anything.
That's correct. Walking Ballista, pretty good. Another Walking Ballista? Ooh, spicy.
Is this going to be a Walking Ballista for 2 and then counters?
I hope it is.
Because that's
I hope it is.
Yeah. So this is 100% Hardened Scales, but Eric,
are you okay? Welding jar that.
Okay.
Thinking. Oh my god, this is actually so much damage.
Yes, even
it's 8 plus an additional 6 if he wants to blow the ballistic counters, which is effectively Eric at 5. Oh well, he can't hit with it yet, but still not hasted. But still, this is for 5. He'll go to Eric will fall to 14. Michael's deck just
so Eric needs to
dismember.
Not even close to being good enough, right? He needs Yeah, if he plays his voice, he's just dead on board.
Is he?
Yes. Because Michael,
Oh wait, we can go up to 8 counters on ballistas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it turns out that Steel Overseer's like,
It's pretty good with Walking Ballista.
oh, dismember on upkeep. Wait, do this on your turn.
Yeah, you need to do this on your.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I think we're dying. Activate. Activate.
Yeah, this is something that you definitely should. I mean, I think Michael was dead regardless. Mm-hmm. But this certainly doesn't help.
Now it's a lot of damage. Wait, why would you wait on that though? In what universe is that the play?
Not sure. Also, don't forget, Michael could also put a counter on one of these. So he
can
can
pump
throw
it.
9 points at face.
Okay, so this will be a hit for 6.
Yeah. So one thing Michael needs to remember to do is he can't shoot. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter.
He can't shoot what?
Because Michael waited for damage to happen. That Walking Ballista has 2 damage marked on it, so
Right.
you can't throw all the counters.
Yeah, but Eric went to low enough life total that the other ballista could just kill him
Right,
alone.
right. So it just
Yeah.
ended up not mattering.
Right, but you're right. Yeah, normally you'd have to, if damage happens, you can't, make your dude smaller.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Looking in
what
chat,
a- what a
looking in
game.
chat as well. Benjamin Berry is correct. One option that Michael also had was instead of playing the ballista for the
Yeah.
full 2 counters,
Yeah.
he could have activated his blink mods and then put counters on those as well.
Putting counters on your manlands is a really cool interaction. It's
Right.
very, very good.
It gives you an out for in case Eric does have the creeping corrosion.
Right.
Then all of a sudden hey, you have a substantial amount of power in your manlands if they both have counters on them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, those, whoa, what are the cards that, okay, Blood Moon, Ensnaring Bridge, Ray of Revelation, I believe, to get rid of Stony Silence.
Right. Okay.
Oh, man. Is that Ray of Revelation?
I'm very bad with card names.
This one.
That looks like
that's
Ray
it,
of
that's it,
Revelation.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the evidence.
I mean, if you're in white green, this seems to fit that quite well.
Yeah, actually, and this is, for a deck that really does rely, it looks like, upon, ballistas activating, like, if your ballistas can't fireball their face, like, why, that's pretty bad for you.
Right. And we saw that game, just the power of Steel Overseer.
Steel Overseer is an insane magic
They
card.
didn't necessarily need to be walking ballistas. Pretty much any creature would have sufficed.
Right, it would have been a turn slower, but yeah, Walking Ballista, a huge upgrade for this deck. Over...
Yeah, it looks like
Hangerback Walkers in there, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Michael also had Hangerback Walkers, which
Makes sense with the counters theme.
yeah, they do silly things if against removal. It needs to be exactly Path to Exile.
Yeah.
Or Kalidas on board.
Sure, yeah, Kalidas on board pretty good. We'll throw it back up to the booth for a second, but the Hardened Scales affinity lists, I've seen some, there was one, I believe Brian DeMars wrote an article about an Abzan list. It was playing Winding Constrictor too. So you had eight Hardened Scales effects, and your mana base was completely out of
Well, you don't need to play green white, right? You can play just green black. It's a little cute, especially since Winding Constrictor doesn't necessarily synergize
with everything else.
with everything.
But sometimes you live the dream. Sometimes you play
sometimes
turn
you
1
live the
Hardened Scales, turn 2 Ballista, turn 2 Constrictor, nothing dies, and then on your third turn you play
Opal, Ballista, Hammerback Walker.
something like
yeah,
that.
Sure.
It's really bad, but it's great,
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it looks like we are going to be out of matches here, pretty shortly here. So let's actually take a look at the puzzles that were posted.
Sure. So, you want to pull up the... Yeah, so... Alright, so I'll relink this, this puzzle thing. So, got some questions here. If you spend 7 mana Monstrous the Pelucranos, targeting a Hand of the Praetor and a Rotwolf. So, I looked these cards up. Here's Rotwolf. It's a 2/2. Okay.
Okay.
So, Pelucranos, when it monstrous it fights two different... It fights... it deals damage to a bunch of different... Or, it fights a bunch of different stuff, right?
Right, so Rotwolf's a 2/2, and Praetor is a 3/3 Lord.
Yeah, so it's Hand of the Praetor.
Right, so this is other creatures you control with, in fact, get +1/+1. So it's going to be fighting 2 creatures with 3 power.
2 creatures with 3 power, so it's going to get 6 counters on
It
it?
will get 6 counters, but you're spending 7 mana, so you're putting 3 counters on it.
Yeah.
8 minus 6 is 2. So Pelucranos will end up being a 2/2.
All right, that seems good. You know, you get the 2-for-1 of Pelucranos. Your Pelucranos is really small though, so
Right.
I mean, at least you're not getting infected to death.
Yeah, also kill 2 creatures. How big is Relentless Rat? If the only other permanents are a Pack Rat, a Rat Catcher, and a Coat of Arms.
Okay, hold on. Relentless Rat gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield named Relentless Rats.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not going to get any pluses from other cards named Relentless Rats because it's the only one. So Rat Catcher is not a card that will affect the size of Relentless Rats either, will it?
Correct.
Coat of Arms says each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least one creature type. So Relentless Rats is not an ogre or a rogue. Right?
Also, don't forget the Pack Rat in play.
Yeah, and then also Pack Rat. Okay, so Relentless Rats is a 2/2. There is one other creature in play that shares a creature type with it, right? So it's a 3/3?
It'll be a 3/3, yeah. It'll get
Oh,
+1/+1 from Pack Rat because of Coat of Arms.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Next question. How big is Aladdin's Lamp?
Oh god, what does that card even do? It sounds like Arabian Nights to me.
It does sound like Arabian Nights.
Uh-huh. Enchanted, okay. And so it costs 10?
Yes. Draw.
What? Wow, this card is really
Oh, wow. So,
expensive.
yes, and you can pay X to effectively Silver Library for X, but you can only... No. You
No.
scry X?
No, it's not even
There's no mechanic named this. You
this
look
is
at,
like this is like a
You look at
this
the
is like
top-
an anticipate. It's
a super anticipate.
It's a
sure.
super anticipate on a stick. Yeah. Okay. So, but it's enchanted with animate art. It costs 10. This is the important part.
Yeah.
Okay. Animate artifact, power and toughness equal to its casting cost. Great. So it's a 10/10.
Sure.
Zephid's Embrace.
Mm-hmm.
God, none of these cards have been looked up here before. Whoever wrote these puzzles, very obscure. +2/+2 gains flying. It's a 12/12. Right? Cartouche of Knowledge is a +1/+. It's a 13/13.
It's a 30, nothing too tricky here.
Okay.
This is just stacking of damage. Now, fun fact here. Aladdin's Lamp originally was printed with a casting cost that's 55.
Why?
Well, at least that's what it appeared to be.
Oh.
One of the misprints from back in the day.
Sure. Casual. Do you have like 5 non-lands? Jesus. All right. 4th question. How big is a Kiln Fiend? Oh, we've seen this before. Kiln Fiend, great card. A little fragile. Kiln Fiend, targeted by a Bloodlust. Okay, so we'll pull up Bloodlust here. So this basically says creature gets +4/-4, and this can't end up killing the creature. So the Kiln Fiend gets +4 from this.
No, so don't forget when you cast it.
Right,
Kiln
sorry,
Fiend will trigger.
so Kiln Fiend, so Kiln Fiend's gonna get +7 in total, and it's gonna be an X1. So it'll be an 8/1 after Bloodlust.
Correct.
Then there's a Blood Frenzy. So it's an 8/1. It'll go to...
There'll be 4 from this, and...
assuming it's attacking or blocking.
Right.
Well, no, this is... Because it hasn't attacked or blocked yet in this puzzle. So this is just... So it's an 11/1.
Oh, so assuming it's attacking, yeah.
So now it's a 15/1.
15/1.
Okay, and then a Fatal Frenzy.
Uh-huh.
Again, no idea what these cards do. Gets +X/+O. So it's like 3 mana Berserk. So you put the trigger, so it's 18, so that's 36/1.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, dude, my head math is great. Let's go.
Yeah. The key part here is making sure you resolve the trigger first.
Right. Yeah. You're like, trigger from casting stuff. Okay, that's a big Kiln Fiend. That kills a lot, and it has trample.
It does. And the last question: how big is your Mana Weft Sliver?
Mana Weft Sliver is
It's
the dork one.
Yeah. makes all your creatures into birds of paradise.
Yep.
If your opponent controls a ground shaker sliver,
Okay, that doesn't affect its power, right?
Megantic sliver, and predatory sliver.
Okay, that doesn't affect your sliver either.
Mhm.
So it's a 1/1.
Correct. These are the new slivers.
They're the new slivers, not the old slivers. The old slivers were back in my day. Slivers were symmetrical. Rawr.
Yeah.
There's actually I don't watch a lot of Magic content online, but I did watch their MTG Goldfish did a stream of a commander pod where all 4 players were playing only the old templated slivers.
Oh, so
And-
your thieves became enormous.
So like they became enormous, but they also get all these weird abilities because there's like slivers in like Time Spiral block that like, you know, your slivers like loot and stuff and just like, you know, like
Oh,
basically
sure.
just everyone has like all these slivers and just like it was
And,
very
and they're all great because you know.
right because they all have like a ton of stuff.
And congratulations to Nick Beamish. He's the one who ended up winning this week's trivia puzzle. So you will be receiving information via email about your $10 gift card.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, so again, congrats to Nick Beamish on winning the first week. These puzzlers will continue. This is going to be a weekly thing now, and I have to imagine that they will be read on the stream.
Right. The puzzles themselves will go up before the stream.
Right.
Through the newsletter and whatnot, and then we'll announce the winner and the answers here.
Yeah.
But with that, we're about to fold into round 4 here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cut to a short commercial break here.
Yeah, we'll go
before
to
we start our final round for tonight.
yeah, we'll go to a 3-minute break here. So yeah, we'll be back in 3 minutes. And when we come back, we will have the last round of MTG Card Market for this evening. So stick with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, and we're back here, MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern. We just had time in the round call. There are a couple time extensions, some players finishing up, which leads into, before we go to our fourth round, there is a large Magic the Gathering event that is happening next week.
Yes.
It's next week!
It is next week. We will not be here next week because we will be in Vegas.
Vegas, baby. Legacy, Sealed, and then Modern. I'm not going to play Sealed. I'm definitely not going to day 2 either Modern or Legacy, though. So
You never know. I mean, with an X3 cut,
I mean, yes. I've been to 3 GPs in my life, and I've missed by 1 match, and by 1 point. I was
you double drew.
I was 5-2. I started out 0-1-2.
Oh, the worst.
And then I fought all the way back and went 5-2-2. It was really quite bad.
The dream.
Look, I don't think whatever. Big Shark. Anyways, but Vegas though,
Vegas?
I'm gonna be playing a borrowed Legacy deck. It's either gonna be Infect or Grixis Delver. It's gonna be bad. I'm gonna do terribly, but I'm excited to play Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy is a lot of fun.
What are you gonna play?
Not sure at the moment. Well, I wasn't entirely planning on playing like the Legacy event and whatnot.
Sure.
So, we'll see. This Legacy is an interesting format. There's a lot of
Neither of us know a whole lot about Legacy, honestly.
yeah.
We're just like, oh, those cards exist.
Right. One nice part about being the Chicagoland area and being part of the Magic community is you do have access to a lot of borrowed cards.
Yeah, that's true. I'm borrowing a deck from a friend. I don't know Legacy cards.
Right, which does give you access to pretty much playing anything. Short of High Tide. I don't know anyone who owns 4 Candelabras.
That's because Candelabra's stupid expensive.
It is.
Oh, man. What a card, though. Literally good in this deck and, maybe Cloud Post.
So, yeah, this is also really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't include the tap symbol.
Sure.
Because without the tap symbol, this is just any land that makes more than 1 mana is just infinite mana.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can only make
High Tide can make a lot of mana, though.
Don't play High Tide. There's so many more powerful things you can do in Legacy.
It's true, but High Tide has just this allure to it. You're mono blue. You're just all spells.
Half your spells don't do anything,
dude. And you just make so much mana. You're you know what? I wait and I wait. You don't go off when you don't go off when you think you can. You go off when you have to.
Yeah,
just it's the combo-iest.
Blue send them for 50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just blue suns them. It's fine. Right?
You can even blue sun yourself. As
what if they go
Sphinx's Wrath?
Quicken Show and Tell Lab Maniac. That's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, seems great. Yeah, but other than High Tide, yeah, lots of borrowing potential, and I think that's how a lot of people sort of at least start in Legacy. Is nobody. I don't know people who just YOLO buy into a Legacy deck, just ugh. It's
I mean, it depends.
What if you hate it?
It depends on where you are in life, right?
Sure.
At the end of the day, Magic is a very expensive hobby, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst hobby you can have, right? If your hobby is golf can easily rack up higher bills than the Magic, and
Sure.
that's not even to talk about if you have more niche hobbies you enjoy fast cars.
Yeah, I mean, look,
these are real people hobbies, right? These aren't nerd hobbies. This is just real people stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's fair.
Although trying to explain to people who don't play that you spent $1,000 on a piece of cardboard is a little bit difficult.
Yeah. So I have I think I've had some success at sort of explaining to non-playing friends hey some of these cards are worth money, and they see I don't know Abrupt Decay $4 or $5.
Yeah.
But you show, and they understand oh, this card is powerful and it does these things. But then you show them a Scalding Tarn, 70, 80, and it's just Yeah. Also, your use of real people is questionable, and I agree with Immortal Strike in the chat. What is real people hobbies? Real people hobbies is just not Magic. So
I group Magic and board gaming and
just
various
they're
miniatures.
More,
they're
they're more recent to the mainstream.
There's also at least a slightly nerdy hobbies, right?
Sure.
There's no two ways around it. It's slightly nerdy.
Right. I mean,
At a minimum. Right?
I agree with that. I just the use of the term "real people" is yikes.
Clearly.
Yeah, also, Bro Dalek in the chat is right. Warhammer 40k is expensive.
Oh, sure.
Oh, the legends, parents.
The thing is, whenever you feel bad about how much Magic costs, whenever you feel bad about how much Magic costs, just know that miniatures are 10 times worse.
What if we just do this one?
Sure.
All right. I mean, we will have seen a lot of robots, but there's not really a good option here. Okay. Dixon Crow in the chat. Real people are the not Dan Dwan people.
Yes.
I resent you calling Dan Dwan a not person, or not a not real people, but also, if you've seen the man eat at a buffet, you will agree with me that it is truly unreal. TX Rager, I would imagine guns are an expensive hobby. I don't actually know anything about that, so I will accept you at your word. But yeah, the should be getting a 4th round shortly. Dan is out seeking a match, and we should have a match soon. And 1 minute. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so that is. Man, yeah, so there are a lot of hobbies more expensive than Magic, is what I'm learning. TX Rager, I once met a dude who had over $1 million of guns and motorcycles in his garage. Okay. That's a lot of guns and motorcycles. Jeez. Alright, so we have a match?
Yes. Yes,
Alright,
we did.
we're gonna kick it down and play overlay.
We're gonna be for mostly for our benefit, but we're gonna be.
We got 2 3-0s.
We have 2 3-0s, and we're gonna be watching Nicholas Wild play against Jake Koenig.
Koenig.
Koenig?
Koenig. I don't actually know how the name's pronounced. Koenig. Okay, thanks, Steve.
So it's pronounced exactly how it looks. Are you getting fancy? Am I getting shade about my real people?
No, we're just TX Rager's talking about some really expensive real hobbies he's seen.
Yeah, I mean,
that is a big garage. 80 bikes in a garage.
Yeah. Well, so you can group hobbies into 2 different categories, right? There are hobbies that involve things, and there are hobbies that involve experiences.
Sure.
Not to say they're mutually exclusive, right? But some people their disposable income goes to concerts or goes to bars, and drinking is not a hobby per se. But it can be. If you're a wine connoisseur,
sure.
That's your hobby.
You enjoy a good scotch or whatever.
Sure. Alright, so this matchup really highly depends on the configuration of the Valakut deck.
If they have the Anger's main, it's much better than if they don't.
Right, Pyroclasm has fallen out of favor, but Anger is still certainly played. Anger perhaps a little bit more now with the rise of decks like Dredge.
Dredge also counters Vizier combo.
Vizier combo, you had something like Voice of Resurgence. The Anger is absurd against that.
Anger's very good against Voice. Anger just exile your pieces, prevents Eternal Witness shenanigans. Also good against robots. Although if you have an Arcbound Ravager that you can make big enough, you're fine.
Yes.
Also, Edge Champion is a hero against those.
Yes. Pro Colors is really quite good.
Yeah. Also, critically Nick on a mulligan here. And that is, if you mulligan past 6, you're going to have a rough time. As it is, you might have a rough time.
Right. Once you go past 6, you're looking for either a very slow draw from your opponent, or the only card that will catch you kind of back up is Heart.
Colony Heart Expedition. Yeah. We'll pull that up here because that's not...
Because that's one of the few cards that's actually card advantage.
Right.
As opposed to just
2 cards for
replacement
1 card, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing is all your spells trade for extra lands, and then you go up when you
go up, right.
when you Colony Heart them. But yeah, we'll see. This is, Jake keeping a 7 is just like, oh boy. He has at least a Galv Blast, though, which isn't super relevant against this deck.
So Jake does have main deck Gearport Aether Grids, which are pretty heinous. So if he
Good or bad?
In a bad way.
Yeah, they're bad. Okay.
Jake, I think, might have double Galv Blast, which is really good for closing out a game.
Right.
But, like,
you want to have other cards that aren't just burn spells.
Right.
And I believe Nick looks like he might be on the play. Yes.
Looks like it. All right, we're gonna start with Forest into
into
Search. Well, best possible start, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Jake will play a Blink Moth. He'll play a Drum. He doesn't have a 0 drop though, so Acceleration slowed. Bolt the draw for Nick, pretty good. Has a Mountain. Suspend another Search. So pretty explosive start here.
This is honestly like one, especially drawing the Bolt. This is arguably as good as it gets.
Right, I agree. In response to the Opal being cast, Nick is going to Bolt the Memnite, but Jake can just float, right? It's okay.
Jake can float. So the Opal's not going to be online yet, but presumably...
As soon as he plays an artifact, it will be.
Right.
So now he has a choice between playing, like, Naked Overseer.
Well, so this does mess Jake up a little bit if he's trying to resolve a 3-drop.
Right. I don't think he has a 3-drop, though. He just... Wow, we're uninterrupted, still going. Nick will resolve a search.
Yeah.
So Nick is in like a pretty good spot, except that I don't think he has the payoff yet. Like he needs to draw like Primeval Titan.
Right. The acceleration is there, so like now we're drawing it very live to all sorts of cards. We're not quite at Scape Shift levels, especially since Jake is not going to take any damage.
Right.
You're gonna you can't Scape Shift on 7. You have to Scape Shift on 8.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Which like here might
I think Nick can actually go Hellbent this turn. Let's see what he drew. Okay, if he drew another land, so he can't. But he's very close to going Hellbent because he has a Farseek.
Okay. Does he have a answer for?
No. His hand is his hand is just another land.
Oh, okay, sure. So now like we're drawing super live. Next turn we're gonna have 7 lands.
Right, and that's like Primeval Titan. If he draws a Primeval Titan or a Summoner's Pact, I think he will win this game.
Yes. If he draws any way to get Primeval Titan on the battlefield, like he just instantly wins.
Yeah.
Because Nick is not pressured enough where like
he hasn't taken any damage yet.
Yeah.
Jake will play an Ink Moth, and we'll see a Ravager. Okay, pretty good.
So now,
Overseer, very very good here.
Overseer, so
you use the Ravager to activate the Blink Moth.
And steal Overseer, and then you can attack for 3.
Oh, so Jake is going to take a little bit slower of a line here, and just put counters on his Ink Moth.
So I think this might be a slight misstep because Jake could have tapped
the
Ravager to animate the Blink Moth and missed the counter there.
Right. I think that was a possibility. Nick's gonna crack a fetch, and also is gonna do the search at the same time.
And I think Jake attacked with the
Signal Pest.
Yeah,
so
Nick's gonna take one.
Yeah, he's at 18 now.
17 after the search, right?
I don't think he's cracked 2 fetches.
Okay, is this the first fetch? Sure.
Yeah. I think he's got another fetch in hand.
Yeah, so Jake missing. Hopefully, this won't matter too much, but the Blink Moth should have an extra counter on it.
Right. It is possible that Jake is going to go all in on this Ink Moth next turn.
That honestly.
I think Nick drew Scape Shift though.
Which won't be enough.
No, he has the 8th. He has the 8th land, right? No, he only has 7 lands. Okay.
Yeah, this will only be 7. So Jake, actually, I might have misspoke. Jake very intentionally did not animate the Blink Moth. He's leaving the mana up so he can move the counters on it should the Ravager die. So this is like super.
Wild just cast Escape Shift for 7.
He might be trying to kill like every creature. And Jake is about to point out to him that he's dead. Right? One. So this is going to be. Is this going to be enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, this is going to be a 10 power Inkmoth Nexus.
And
I'm gonna do the count again. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artifacts, plus the 2 on the Ravager.
yeah.
Oh, well, the Ravager included. So 6 plus 2 plus the base power 2. So wow, this is very well played by Jake.
So Nick here is gonna try to kill things, and I think Jake showed him that he loses now.
Oh wait, so if Jake sacks everything, he has to sack the Blink Moth as well, which means that he doesn't actually have a way to animate the Ink Moth.
Oh.
But he has like infinite turns to draw a land.
Right, because Nick is.
If
Nick is still alive to draw like a Primeval Titan.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nick has like very live draws.
Okay, so Jake gonna sack those 2, Ravager up to 4.
4. Make sure you tap it for mana.
He's gonna use that to animate the Ink Moth.
Oh, might not be enough. Might not be enough.
I mean, you can make the Ink Moth a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, you might also want to make it.
I don't think you can sack the Blink Moth. I think you need the land.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, if you had the Blink Moth, if you had a land in hand,
Yeah.
this is actual lethal. As it stands, Jake might just be incentivized just to make this a 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
Because there's 5 there, this could make it 7. But like 8, 9, 10, if he sacked everything.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, and he couldn't animate the Ink Moth because he used it to.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we go back over to Jake. Here's a draw. Finds a Mem Knight. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Don't forget.
this lets him pump, so this will be a 8 infect.
This will be 8 infect. Yeah.
Yeah. Or well, he's not gonna pump. This is just 7.
He's keeping the Galva Blast in hand.
Yeah.
For whatever forever.
Nick flips a Summoner's Pact.
I don't think that's enough though.
Well, how much went face and how much didn't go face?
Oh, that's true. So there was 3 creatures on board, right?
Nick had 6 triggers, so Jake should be at like 11.
Yeah. If Nick gets 2 mountains, that's 12.
He only has 1 Valakut.
Oh, right. He only got 1 Valakut. So if he gets 2 mountains, that's 6. It really depends on how many went face.
Jake could be at 8 here, but like,
There's no combination.
yeah.
With only one,
Yeah,
with
Nick's
only
gonna
one,
scoop it
yeah,
up.
with only one Valakut in play, there's no combination of more than 6
Right.
damage. If you get double mountain, that's 6. If you get Valakut mountain, that's also 6.
Yeah. Actually, do you mind ascertaining while they're sideboarding that Jake did win that game? We're like 90% that he did, right?
Yeah.
But like, we don't know what went face or what the life totals were at
Sure.
the end. So we'll go to 20 each on these guys. Second game here, Jake has Spell Pierce, not great against Scape Shift. Stubborn Denial, probably a little bit better. Aether Grid, probably not very good. Primeval Titan's the only thing that matters. Yeah, so let's see, Stubborn Nose. I think if the Galv Blasts are good, the Galv Blasts are good reach, but they might come out just for more relevant spells. Blood Moon seems really good actually. Blood Moon seems like amazing.
Yeah, Blood Moon's always pretty good against Valakut.
You're just like, oh, if you shut off their Valakuts, they have to like attack you with Primeval Titan 4 times or something.
Yeah, so just to clarify what happened there, Nick got 6 triggers and pointed 1 at face and everything else at the...
At stuff?
Yeah,
Okay,
at
so Jake was even higher life total, yeah.
Right. There was no combination of being able to do that. I think like a 2-card combination would have been like Through the Breach and Primeval Titan. In which
Because
case,
they give him haste, yeah.
yeah. Because then you get 4 lands coming into play plus a 6 from the hit, and then you can win.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
So I think Jake had the same line that we did that I can just kill you immediately here.
With
But,
the Ink Moths, yeah.
Right. Not quite though. Not quite.
Yeah. If the Gallop Blast had been a land, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Actually, like I think I actually miscalculated a little bit.
Because he couldn't turn on both Inkmoth.
He couldn't turn on both, right? So you could make the. Oh, actually no, land would have been good. Because if he sacked everything but the Inkmoth and the Blinkmoth, he could make the Inkmoth a 9/9, and then land, animate, and then pump.
Sure.
Although the pumping requires
another mana.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
No, I wouldn't have. But Jake seeing that line of I can infect kill you in 2 turns, or like I can even if you, like basically a much faster clock than the normal damage would have been.
Right.
Pretty good though. So yeah, we'll see game 2 here. If Nick obviously gonna board in like a billion Anger of the Gods.
That is the plan.
Lots of anger. I don't know what else, honestly.
You may go so far as like board an obstinate Bailots. But
for life?
Yeah, I guess that's a lot. It just costs too much.
It's super duper. You can play it turn 3, I guess. I'm kind of shrug about that. Nick has a Summoner's Pact in hand along with a Farseek and at least 1 or 2 lands. As for Jake, I see a Vault Scourge, Dark Steel, Opal, some stuff. So he's got some good stuff cooking over there.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to the last game and like whether or not the Skate Share was necessary there, but that 100% was. Like you were super then if you just passed the turn.
Right, and both players are going to mulligan here. Okay. So down to 6 for both this time.
Certainly, this favors the Affinity player. Only a couple cards in your deck matter.
Yeah, I mean, neither deck really mulligans well, though.
I'd actually argue that. Affinity mulligans fairly well. There are, as far as decks go, like Affinity can win with 3-4 card hands.
Sure, I mean, yeah, if you have plating and stuff.
Right. Like an unanswered plating on like an Ornithopter is just like, well, that's gonna win the game.
Yeah, looks like Jake has at least a Signal Pest. And a plating.
I've seen 2 bolts in Nick's hand, which is, absurdly good. Yeah. So long as he has land.
Jake's going to scry.
Yeah.
Thinking about where to put it. He'll put it top. Okay. And Nick will be on the play. He'll start on Wooded Foothills. Over to Jake. We'll start on an Inkmoth into Springleaf Drum and a pass. Nick draws Chandra Torch of Defiance and is on a 1-lander.
With a bolt, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fine. Jake has a Ravager.
Nick, did Nick draw the Chandra?
Yeah.
I thought he scried top, but that can't possibly be right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Ravager in play. Now Nick's got to think.
Okay.
This isn't great, though. Jake has plating plus equip next turn.
So, like, Nick can...
He's going to bolt the Signal Pest.
Yeah, in response. Yep.
Oh, in response to Ravager.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, no reason to let the Ravager...
No reason to get value, to give Jake value there. Yeah. But Nick's on a 1-lander.
Well, so this is really important because next turn you can also bolt the Ravager, and like, okay, now you have nothing on the field. Oh,
well, it draws a second land like a hero.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Ravager gets bolted. Jake will draw. It's a Spire of Industry. I think Nick's out of bolts though.
But Jake's not doing much here.
I mean, Jake has an Inkmoth swinging for like 6.
Yes. Which, I mean, like, at this point, you just have to do it.
Nick doesn't have any more removal. Spellskite means even...
A Spellskite is kind of insane.
Okay.
Because Spellskite means...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 1 base.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 1 base. This is a hit for 8.
Well, I think Nick might be dead.
So Nick has exactly drawn to Sudden Shock.
I don't know if he has Sudden Shock.
Oh, the Valka deck certainly has Sudden Shock.
Sure, fair enough. I mean, maybe less because Infect isn't real anymore?
That's fair. But
otherwise he loses because Spellskite's so good.
Yeah.
It's not like he has Ghost Quarter. Well, that's not a Ghost Quarter.
Shatterstorm would also save you a turn?
Sure.
But Nick's...
These ink moths are just brutal this
Yeah.
game.
Nick's looking at Chandra, and I was like,
Nice instant speed interaction.
Yeah.
Wow. Oof. That's rough. You know, both bolts like going to reasonable places, but Jake just has the plating and the Ravager.
Well, like, this is an excellent draw against, like, a fair deck, right? Because you
Yeah.
play Chandra here, and next turn you use it for mana, and then
you make
just,
Primeval Titan.
You just cast hard Primeval Titan.
Yeah. Wow. That was over in a jiffy.
Yeah.
You want to wrap it up? I mean, we'll see what they're sideboarding here. Yeah, go look. But if there's not anything promising, like, don't worry about it. All right, so Nick showing pulling out some anger. I saw a Rex Sage that you can Summoner's Pact for, quite good there. Jake, hard to see what he was doing, but it looks like they're moving off the table because they think there might be another match. Okay. Yeah. For those of you watching who weren't here earlier, and who also weren't here towards the end of last week, this is the final week that I will be casting for MTGCardMarket for the foreseeable future. I graduate from college this Saturday, and I will be moving away to Michigan to start a job there. So this is the last round of the last stream that I will be doing, and I have enjoyed it immensely. So thank you all for coming out this Wednesday. Dan says we have a match.
Yes, this is going to actually be our other 3-0 match.
Our other 3-0 match.
Yeah, so we've got Andy Bayer, who we
So
saw
we have
earlier.
more robots.
Yes, but importantly...
Who's he playing against?
His opponent is not on a deck I think we've ever seen on camera.
Okay, what's happening, Dan?
He's playing against Charlie...
Finoglio?
yeah.
Okay, and what's Charlie playing?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Okay, well, I saw an Overgrown Tomb.
Okay.
Is it Dredge?
It is not a deck that we have never seen on camera.
I guess we might have seen Dredge. I have no idea, dude.
He's playing Slivers.
Yo! Yo! It's like tribal aggro. One of them's robots and the other one's slivers.
All the tribal aggro decks are great. They're better if you can play Collected Company.
Sure. Slivers. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
There we go. So let's see. Oh, and Andy's on. And what game is this, Dan?
This is going to be game 3. Andy's going to be on a play here.
Oh, this is so Slivers won a game.
Slivers won it. Hey, he's 3-0 tonight.
Sometimes you can't beat Slivers, dude. They just have the everything, and then you lose.
Well, that's the thing with the tribal decks, right? When they draw well, like it looks nigh unbeatable. Humans is similar to this. The good humans draw, especially with the removal light hand, are just absurd.
Like, yeah, you can't champion of the parish with Dahlia's lieutenant and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just make your creatures huge and then kill them.
Yeah, well, so the benefit of Slivers as well is you have at least eight rainbow lands.
Right, you have
You have
Cavern of
Cavernous-
Souls and Sliverhive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then some number of real lands. The Sliver decks can get pretty aggressive in how many colors they're playing.
Yeah.
Because you have like
Mana West Sliver too.
Mana Wefts and whatnot. I've seen some decks go as far up as playing Ancient Ziggurats,
Sure. Yeah. You know, the only thing it doesn't cast is like Collected Company.
which is a pretty big concession, but that's sometimes how it goes. But yeah.
Yeah, this seems. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this goes. There are a bunch of different ways to build the. Like you can play. Like you're probably gonna play like 8 Lord effects, right? The Sinew and the Predatories, and then you're also gonna play like. I don't know. There's a lot of
Gale Rider.
Yeah,
Sliver
Gale Rider is very good for flying. You can play a lot of random spice though.
Yeah, I mean
You can play like Blur Sliver for haste, I think.
Sure. I mean, you can go deep and play one of the queens.
Sure. Yeah, let's go. I'm excited. Slivers versus Affinity.
Well, that's a Whip Flare, though. So
Oh God!
Whip Flare gonna be. Oh, but that's a Zero Lander as well.
Okay.
Whip
It's fine.
Flare
It's fine. Whip Flare seems great. Dude, one-sided Plague Wind for... Plague Wind for 2?
Pyroclasm.
It's probably going to Plague Wind them, though.
Yes, but unfortunately, it's Zero Lander. with 3 like Ravagers, not exactly playable there.
There's also one card that I have that would, make slivers instantly way more annoying than they already are. I think it's this one. Yeah! Crystalline Sliver.
This isn't in Modern, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, the closest they get is Diffusion Sliver, which is counter spells targeting slivers unless they pay 2. Crystalline Sliver is really, really good.
Yeah. There's also the sliver that makes all your slivers into Vindicates, if you pay like 2.
Oh yeah, oh no, it's pay 3. Each sliver gains 3 Vindicate. It's
like it's destroy target permanent, right?
yeah. Is it? Yeah. Oh, I got it right.
Oh yeah,
God.
there you go.
Yeah. I don't know if this card's in Modern.
Oh, it looks like Charlie also took a mulligan here though.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
This was in. I mean, it was in Planar Chaos, I guess. Is that? Oh wait, no. Planar Chaos is old though. No. Planar Chaos is in Modern. Yeah, this is fine.
Yep. This is the Goif block. It looks like Andy's hand is quite good though. He's got a
cage. Stop the company. Has a whip flare.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the basic mountain even?
He has a basic mountain, so he can actually cast the whip flare too.
Whip flare is so good.
The cage, like depending on what Charlie's draw looks like, could be embarrassing, but like it's a fine card to have.
Like collected company's nuts.
Yes.
That's what I know.
I see some lands. I see some.
At least a sinew sliver. We're in it. Think about it. Scry 1. That'll go top.
All right.
Let's go.
And where we go?
And we are off with a Signal Pest off an Inkmoth Nexus. Shoot it back over to Charlie. He's got a Polluted Delta and a pass.
Okay.
Looking back at Andy's hand, he has a Galv Blast too with the basic mountain and the Whip Flare.
But importantly, a Steel Overseer.
We saw this card get out of hand before. It will get out of hand again.
Yeah.
Barring removal.
So one problem is in the Slivers deck, the amount of removal you have is relatively limited.
I think that's probably an understatement.
Which means that specifically Steel Overseer just gets incredibly out of hand. Because while your deck is, has a ton of lords, this is just a better lord.
Yes, because it's permanent. It happens every turn.
It
Seems great. All right, so let's see what we've got going on. That's the Vigilance one.
Uh-huh.
Sentinel Sliver, I believe. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, so Andy can play a second Steel Overseer.
Call the police. This is out of hand.
And have Galv Blast up if he wants.
Activate, boys. Oh, this is out of control. I'm surprised he didn't activate the Blink Moth, but I guess it's for the Galv Blast.
Yeah, Andy also has a Ravager in hand, so things are truly about to get out of hand.
Ravager seems pretty good.
Ravager is quite good.
Yeah, this is like... Oh, man. Okay, so now you gotta hope... so he does play the
So if
cage.
Andy wasn't going to hold with Galv Blast,
Yeah.
I think I would have preferred animating the Blink Moth.
Sure, instead of Cage.
Right, because...
He's not gonna Coco this
Charlie's not Cocoing here.
Yeah.
And that means next turn you can do, abusive things. As if this wasn't abusive enough. Charlie's going to get in for 2.
Yeah. So is a Manowef Sliver into a Predatory Sliver.
May have wanted to play the Predatory Sliver pre-combat.
Also, the Sliver has Vigilance. Why is it tapped?
Is that the Vigilance one? It is
Yes.
the Vigilance one. Yeah, we're gonna... We'll go ahead and correct that there.
We'll put... Why is he at 15? No, there's not been any damage if he's at 18. Oh, he tapped it for mana, Dan. He tapped it for mana. Dan. Shit. All right, Dan's gone. We're gonna go. We're gonna go fix that. We're at 20 over here. All right. I really don't want to miss Affinity Combat Math though, because this is gonna be hard already. Yep. Dan, come back. Okay. So the board development's pretty explosive, but the other thing that's explosive is this like 3-for-1 Whip Flare. Chat says he tapped it for mana. Chat's right.
Yeah. This also explains why the Predatory Sliver didn't come down pre-combat.
Yeah.
Chat's much better at Magic than we are here.
Absolutely. But that's that's normal.
But looking at this board,
hello. Yeah.
guys.
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 Guys. The other thing is that Andy is going to play a Whip Flare post-combat, and that is a 4 poison, 3 regular.
4 poison, 3 regular.
Man, not playing like 12 removal spell deck.
Oh man, this is this a Whip Flare or is this a Bolt? This is a Whip Flare, right?
That's a Whip Flare, dog.
Oh god.
Wait, what did he spend that way? Oh,
Oh,
no,
he
he
pumped,
pumped. It's
yeah.
5. I guess he's not threatened, right?
No, I mean he's got
Next
2
turn is lethal.
and
Where-
then some.
Where's the Gale Rider? The Rider of Gales. So there's a
The
Predatory
problem
Sliver.
is Gale Rider Sliver is not even good
What is that?
because Andy just plays Whip Flare.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Whip Flare's quite good. Well, if he has a second Lord effect, he gets about a Whip Flare.
Sure.
Oh, no, he doesn't. No, they're 1/1s and then... But no, they're 2/2s.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Okay, so-
everything will be a 3/3, but Charlie is just in the abyss then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, we're not... It's not a good place to be.
This is
And
this
he
is
can't...
pretty
He has
rough.
a Coco in hand, but he can't Coco into the Gale Rider that he so desperately needs. 2 mana. Another Predatory. Okay,
Okay.
so we're out of Whip Flare range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can attack for 10.
which is pretty good.
Against a normal deck, it would be.
Like this would be absurd against a normal deck.
Put him to 10. 2
Uh,
mana. It's got to be real. What? In
Oh, that's the lifelink sliver, I think.
Yeah, but you think he's just dead to the Ink Moth?
I think so. Is that the lifelink one?
I don't know what that sliver does. I don't even know what it's called. Charlie tapped out, shields down. Ink Moth is a flyer. Here comes a large Ink Moth Nexus.
Yeah. Short of us missing something here, I think this should be super lethal.
I just don't know what that black sliver does.
It's definitely lifelink.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
it's the
and
lifelink.
that's gonna do it. Charlie extends the hand, scoops it up. Looking at the top. So there is a harmonic sliver in the top 3 cards, which is what you're really looking for.
Yeah.
Because if you have an early harmonic sliver, you're just every creature you play just vindicates them.
If you play harmonic sliver, you just win the game instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
especially if you Coco into this,
harmonic sliver, and then you
you just they both trigger.
right. Oh, it's truly
It's
it's
harmonic
truly
sliver
nuts.
is
no.
kind
It
of
won't. It
disgusting.
won't. The Coco won't. It won't. The other sliver that enters, I don't think we'll see it, right? Because they're gonna enter at the same time.
And it has when it enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
this-
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not-
it's
Fun fact: this stacks as well.
yes. Yes, it does. It does.
So if you hit 2 harmonic slivers, that kills 4 things.
It's kind of messed up.
It's a little bit messed up.
Only a lot though.
All
Okay,
right.
so we're gonna throw it back up to us. That is gonna do it for this week of MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern. We will be taking a break for Vegas, and after that, the future of the stream is in the hands of Dan and the store.
The current plan is to return the week after Vegas. With sadly another commentator. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get in the chat, dude. I'm just gonna be all over it. I'm gonna be flaming you left and right. Hey Dan, fix your overlays. Hey Dan, do the life totals faster. Hey Dan, can you make sure you get the deck list?
Timeout.
Time
Timeout.
just time out. Just instantly ban me. Yeah. All right. Well,
but
this has been a lot of fun though. This has been
Yeah,
really
with that, we really appreciate everyone joining us for this run. We've had a lot of fun doing this, and we really appreciate everyone the support you've given this stream and the store.
We'll both be at Vegas. Come find us.
Yeah, for sure. Should be a good time. But with that, the stream's been sponsored by MTG Card Market. Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Everyone.